I'm here with the Brain Trust for the Art City of Lakeland, and we're here to gather again today to try to sort out the things that we think that will help make our art city come to life and to integrate STEAM into all the things that we're doing and help develop a community that is innovative and creative. And so we're just going to go around the room and hear who everybody else is and what they're doing here. And so we will start with our one of our resident artists, Rachel Brame.
Oh, your mic's not on.
And I'm here representing R&R Artworks.
And I'm Dave Collins, and I'm an instigator, as always.
Hi, I'm Randy Borden. I own the stuff in the place that we're meeting. So,
I'm Monica Drake. I'm a novice artist, and I'm just curious as to what's going on. I've worked with David before, so I'm glad to be here.
Netza Rodriguez, and I am a graphic designer and multimedia consultant, and I just like lending my brain to go above and beyond on anything creative. I love it. You know,
I'm Jessica Guevara. I run Art City. I say David's the unofficial mayor of Art City just because he's the ideas behind it and, getting it going and stuff. But I do all the real hard work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we should give you a lot of accolades because you've been awesome. And
Yeah,
really
and
working
we
hard.
did that in your absence last week, but now that you're here,
I can take all the glory.
yeah.
Well, since you weren't with us last week, we would love to hear what are your thoughts on Art City and how we would grow this and integrate all of this STEAM action and developing creativity and innovation.
Some of the things I've been thinking about is just trying to get more people to find out about it. Just because right now people are just like, oh, are you guys here every Saturday? Or, oh, you guys are here like every event type of thing. We're like, yeah, we are. Like, start coming. And we just started up and everything like that. So I think our main concern as the artists, at least everyone that I've talked to, is just getting more people to come because statistically showing you have to have a certain amount of people who actually see your art in order to start selling. So it depends on your art and how, the area and everything is. So you could have 100 people come see your art and you could sell to one or two type of thing. So it just depends on the area that you're in and how many people you're actually getting to come in there and who are in the mind frame of actually buying art. So just some of the things I've been thinking about are just different advertising things, letting more people know about, what we're doing here and what we're trying to accomplish here. But also a lot of networking, like a lot of other people are talking about their art to other artists that are there. They start like, oh, I'm going to this event. Did you hear about this? So I just think it's starting to connect the artists that are already here in Lakeland and letting each other know what the other artist is doing and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I think that was a fair bit of our focus last week was to try to figure out ways to engage people in this culture and make them feel part of this and take some ownership in it. Because once we have that type of ownership going on, the rest of it will, I think, feed itself. And Monica, you weren't here either last week, and so it'd be interesting to hear your perspective on what we are trying to do and maybe some other things you think you should add to it.
Well, I really like the concept of Art City. I think that's it's very interesting, and I like that that you have the art show in collaboration now with First Fridays and also during the market. I think that's a really smart move, just to put it where a critical mass of people are naturally going to be, to get them out there. People's attention, it's always incredibly divided with things that they have to do on Saturdays or Fridays or whatever. So to just put those things in their face when they're going to, something that's pretty entrenched already in the city is just it's the first step, and then we can break out and have, standalone events that will just naturally catch on because they'll already know that we're an interesting organization just from seeing us at other events. As far as some of the things that I'd like to see more of with Art City, and I'm new, of course. Obviously, this is my first time, as you said. I'd like to see, and you're a good person, obviously, to have on this committee with something like this, but more STEAM programming, more maker events, things that are obviously collaborative between science and art. So you know, makers fairs or whatever to get kids like really interested in like robotics and art and, you know, get them interested in more progressive forms of making art. Coding programs I think would be really awesome. It's not, you know, the analog kind of art that we think of, you know, painting or music.
Like you want some dancing robots?
I would love some dancing robots. I
Let's
really
get
would.
Just Dance to come down
I would
here. Like,
really
teach
love
the
some
robots to dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a waltz.
No,
These
and
robots got a waltz.
we have done this with teachers many times, and they're always thrilled with their ability. Like they're scared to death in the beginning, and at the end they're always thrilled.
Yeah, I'd love to see more outdoor kind of coded art. So some of the things that I've looked at before that I've been really impressed with are pieces of art that artist coders have made, and then they project them on a large scale onto walls. So clearly we've had this conversation in the past before about getting murals, large scale murals in downtown Lakeland, and the powers that be don't really cooperate with us. But if it's something not permanent or not even on the wall, they really don't have anything that they could say about it.
Are you sure you weren't here last week?
No.
I've seen those
Was
flash
I?
murals
I?
in
So-
different towns before. They look awesome, and
They're
very
amazing.
cool and
They're
renegade.
amazing. Yeah, I love them.
'Cause
They're super dynamic.
we've talked about, you know, dropping some big canvases off the balcony and painting them or using them as a projector to project stuff onto.
Listen, it's the
Um,
collective consciousness. We all want these kinds of things, you know? And we really do. As creative people, it's kind of the future of what's happening, I think.
And then your comments about engaging the kids. So we're also about like all these things came out last week. Pretty right on cue.
Awesome. Well, I
and
guess I'm where I'm supposed to be.
So we didn't get something new. We just got the same old.
well,
You're welcome.
Deja vu.
it's good to know that, you know, like there's some reason we all are having these thoughts. And so from my own personal thing in Florida, very few of the downtown areas or lack of downtown areas in some places really don't have this kind of culture. And yet it seems like the people are here, and they just don't have a thing to come to that fits what they think. But like, you know, we might be small-minded and really in this narrow little spot in life, but we have a very common vision.
Mm-hmm.
And when we meet with other people, like I'm always very encouraged that people say they want to do this, and whenever I just break out Kiva planks and start building stuff, kids just show up and adults show up and people just come in and play with them. And so like I think that there's a natural need, a natural fit in our society to do this. And then on the marketing side, like Dave had come up with a pretty cool idea that I like, and that is like building big ants and having all these ants all over the city and having them all like coming over to this one place. And so you would like see these ants and you're like, oh, there's some more ants. And then
That'd be
eventually it
pretty
would
cool.
lead you here.
Follow the
Yeah.
ants.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the ants
Well,
would
the
be
swarm
moved
was,
slowly week
was
by
her
week or day by
idea.
day?
The ants were mine.
No,
Like
this
you
is
But I
said.
think that's how that goes.
Yeah,
just
no,
have
it
them
did.
kind
I
of
was like,
spread
well, you
out.
gotta have 'em
Oh,
And
go.
just
then they
spread
would
out.
cluster in an area.
This is
so-
like get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and
Mhm.
get a moving van and drive around town and drop off all these ants and
Uh-huh.
organize them and maybe have some on the side of the building and, you know, either some big piece of cake where they're headed to or
Okay.
some other interesting thing that, you know.
Gotcha.
I love that.
But I like the hidden message behind it. You know, it's like either they're pointing in a direction or
Yeah.
you know
Uh-huh.
they're themed a certain type of way, so that it's like you really have to think of like oh, you have a oh moment. You know, it's like okay, I get it, I understand now.
And if we were connected to a bunch of other groups, you could have each group like make ants. Like, you know, you make 10 ants and all these different groups make 10 ants, and then they could make them the colors and whatever way they
Yeah.
wanted to do them, and it would be up to us to figure out, you know, how to
So
organize
That's why
them.
I was asking at first. I was like, are they moving? And only because like you know if like you set them up on a Sunday, you go and pack out Sunday night. You move the ant a little closer to where it's going. Tuesday night, the same thing. You know, maybe it's moving, and so as the next day progresses, you start realizing like the ant's moving to the end of the week where they all come to one
Mm.
location.
That's a could be, but that
Yeah.
is in the same place multiple times,
Yeah.
which is a more difficult
Yeah,
thing
so-
than
Yeah.
a single placement.
What if you had 20 groups all built 10 ants, right? And then each group would go out once an hour on Saturday and go and move them a little closer.
Yeah, or 10 ants, and
And
they
then-
just like they're all spread out different places,
And by the time you hit noontime or whatever, they'd all be where we're at.
congregating.
Right.
But by the time you publicize it,
Yeah.
at any rate, that the word gets out, it can go out to everybody as opposed to just letting it happen organically in
Yeah.
neighborhoods
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
anybody picking that up thinking it's a garbage.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
See-
I mean,
see-
I think you go for media gets notified in advance. It's all
Mhm.
going to happen at a certain time,
Yes.
and when Lakeland wakes up, its newspaper says the ants have invaded.
Oh, that'll be cute.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
The ants are coming.
Yeah.
The ants are here.
yeah,
Like there's an ant
Yeah.
on top of the bus. There's one on LKLD TV. Spot
Yeah.
the ants.
yeah.
We could
Go,
do like
go to the
a
website
invasion.
and
a
post your
preemptive
location.
like War of the Worlds broadcast about ants, and then all of a sudden they wake up the next, like do 3 series that are about ants invading, like on the podcast, and then like get it out ahead of time. So we
Well,
we could even
Well,
go.
how about a video?
Yeah,
There we go.
whatever.
You know,
Ants
and-
attack.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you see
there's a
the
really-
video. You see some of them coming, and then you see some more were sighted here, and some more were sighted here, and then all of a sudden it builds to whatever, and
Dun,
We
dun,
can always
dun.
just encourage
Mhm.
people to record videos on their cell phone and just put them on Facebook. I mean,
That's
that's
right.
like a quick and easy way to get it out there. And
Mhm.
the more people that do it, the more other people that'll
Right.
want to do it.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
how would we get these ants to be a little bit more on the fine art side?
I think they would have to be weatherproof. So they'd have to be a certain size so people can't pick them up and put them in a garbage can.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can always just contact different groups like like your Kiwanis Club or like a neighborhood organization or different groups like that. And
we could have an ant building
I like
not
that. Yeah.
not contest, but training
Yes.
Mhm.
ant builder training
Camp.
camp.
Or if-
Yeah,
Or even if they're already pre-cut,
Yeah.
they're pre-cut.
Yeah, you could
But
have
you so that they all look the same, at
Right.
least in
Then they
body.
can
but
decorate
they
But then
it.
they
decorate
can
how they want,
decorate
just
how
like
they
the
want.
swans, right?
I just lost my left.
But if we use plastic bags, just garbage bags, it's just fill them full of newspaper, tie them, and that's body part 1.
There you go.
It'd be
You
even
know, and it
cooler if
takes
they were
3
mechanical.
Yeah.
That would be
But-
cool.
Robots.
That's
But
where we
that
get back
way
into
it takes
STEM.
just three bags full of newspaper
Mhm.
tied together and 6 legs.
Yes.
Yeah. ants.
They're hexapods.
Yeah.
They're
That's-
they're
that's
uniramus
why-
hexapods.
That's why we have STEM and the arts working together.
Yes.
Because I just go, I don't know, it's got a whole bunch of damn legs.
Made a centipede.
Yes, let's not make centipedes. Let's not. It could be.
Well, you could mix a few
Unless the
other
ants started,
characters in there that are going along in
ones-
the stream.
Yeah,
created by
ones
the
without
ants.
100 legs.
We can put all
Let's
the
do
ants
ones without
together, and
100.
that'll be the centipede.
Are we doing fire ants or sugar ants, or like have we decided on?
Or dancing ants. That all of a sudden, in one place in the street, they're all up
Flash
going.
mob.
Flash mob ants.
Well, that's the next level, right? Somebody else needs to be in
Ant
an ant
costumes.
costume walking around town.
We're like, oh, is that one of those ant sculptures? Gets up, starts dancing.
That's right. Exactly. And you could have a robotic one, but you'd want to be with it, right? Like you can set them up, you can run them with your phone. You
Mhm.
can walk along with it while it's walking.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, these are
Very
some
cool.
really
So are
good
these
ideas.
are these ants promoting anything?
Art
are
City?
they just
Us.
Art City.
okay? Crazy artist, got it.
Yeah.
Well, ants are a community, right?
True. Bringing the
Ooh, there we
community
go.
together.
Yeah.
I like
Mhm.
that.
They're all dependent on each other.
And their strength in numbers.
That's right.
Have we nominated a queen yet?
We could
Does it have to be somebody extremely large?
Yes.
I believe that's the
One
rule.
with lots of children.
It's got to weigh 400 pounds and lay lots of eggs.
I'll check, see who wants to volunteer.
We'll just get a Chase Lounge and we'll just put it in the parking lot up front and just get somebody to sit out there for a couple days.
Oh,
So when we kind of left off last time, one of the things we talked about is making a list of different types of things. And so does anybody, I think we got a good start on that, and it's worthwhile to have that on the list. Is there something else somebody would like to add to the list of a type of an event we could do?
I like lights. Anything LED and glow.
Oh, I was.
here was an idea that I saw that could fit into the parking lot quite easily and just encourage the artists to use glow objects. I don't know if you see the boxes.
Can you describe what you guys see? It's a radio show.
They're like wooden boxes, and inside of them they have different lights and lighting in them, and there's like little sculptures and stuff like that
They're all stacked
on top of each
on
other.
top of each other, and each one is just they have like a they are made out of wood, so I guess everybody could have the same kind of wooden box. But I like that they're stacked and that can be created into any type of design, you know, in the parking lot. And then challenge the artist, you know, to go, you know, to do something with any stuff that just has that glow effect, you know, whether it's like a club scene or very woosah, you know, just whatever. You know, I think that would be really cool.
They're
I
like
was-
Shadowbox 2.0.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
Cool.
something similar. I made this giant Art City canvas sign. It was really windy that day, so I was trying to take our tent and blow it away. But I was thinking of hanging it over the banister on First Friday nights, just because we have more artists there and everything like that, and then having black lights around it, just because it's really bright colors. So I wanted to test it and see if like it lights up with black lights, because I think that would bring like more people into that space, because
Yeah.
it's not a known space right now. Like at least for First
Yeah.
Friday, we've only had one First Friday event so far.
Speaking
Yeah.
of speaking of-
Sorry. I've seen an effect where people have done paintings and then just put like some neon lights very like behind it, so the
Mhm.
glow comes from behind as
Yeah.
well. And black light or neon would work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about the black lights, I think me and Dave had a conversation one time. I was describing a picture that I had completed. During the daytime, it was one picture. And then without you knowing, the background had black light sensitive paint. And so when you would shut off the regular lights, the black light would kick in, and then you would see a completely different picture. And so that may be something, you know, just like you know, you're out there, all the black lights are off, you know, everybody, that's the challenge, is to, you know, kind of mess with the mind a little bit, mess with the eyes. It's like, okay, everybody and watch, and then you just blast them with, you know, black light, and then it's like a completely different picture, or all the pictures create one big picture. You know,
Yeah.
initially, like, so you put them all together, create one big picture out of a black light responsive, you know, paint.
Has
And then-
anybody here worked with like glow in the dark paint?
Yes, love working with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is that better than black light, since then we don't have to have
Well, you
black
still-
lights?
you
You
still
know,
need
the
the black-
cost of creating black light?
Well, you still need the black light to create that second image. You know, it's
Second
like 'cause
glow of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that second
but
glow
I mean-
effect.
Yeah, I just saw there is I showed Dave earlier today in Amsterdam. There's a cool bike path somebody created, and I think the paint is solar. It absorbs solar power,
Yeah,
but
I've
it
seen
lights
that.
up at night. And it
Yeah.
looks so they painted the bike path like starry night, like the Van Gogh
Mm-hmm.
sky, and it just blues and greens, and it was so iridescent, and it was just it looked like a magical scene. There were no other lights or lamps nearby, anything like that, but it still showed up in the middle of the evening, you know, pitch dark. So that something like that, like as a paint for our activities, would be amazing.
This is the other type of thing. If you had a big canvas like that or a drop cloth out on the parking lot, right, and we painted up this really cool thing with the paint that will just glow at night, and then at night you just hang it up on the balcony stuff, and it's like it's going to get a lot of people's attention because it's going to be
Yeah.
crazy looking.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, obviously we're Art City is really, really new, so there's probably a non-existing budget to do things like happenings, but I'd like to see more happenings, you know, quote unquote happenings in Lakeland. So what I mean by that is a place where you know, all of the arts are being represented at one time. So there's music happening, there is a gallery space happening with, you know, artists exhibiting. There is maybe
Are you sure you weren't here
a
last week?
theater troupe doing something, and there's also a space, you know, where people who are coming to these events get to participate in making part of what is going on at the happening. And so there you could have, you know, a black light and people using that kind of paint that will then glow and making their own pictures.
We
and
had
and
a
then-
few
and then we-
inquiries actually about that when we started advertising for Art City. They well, we already had like bands and stuff like that inquire about it, but we had like a poet ask about it. He's like, can I come and like say poetry and stuff like that, and try to like ask people, oh, give me 5 words and I'll make a poem out of it or something like that. I was like, yeah, you can
That
come
would be
do that,
great.
but he ended up coming, so I don't.
And there are a lot
I
of
think it's a good idea though.
The-
Like, trying to incorporate other arts. into
what
it.
I've noticed in downtown Lakeland, and it's bothered me since I've lived here, and I've only lived here for about 7 months now. Is and more of you can speak to this, those who have lived here longer. I'm assuming that after the recession in 2008, a lot of spaces went kind of dark or dropped off, and there are a lot of places, buildings downtown that I've been talking about this, would love to just have these pop-up spaces. And I've talked to people before in the city about using certain spaces to have just a happening that happens one night and it's done. It's a lot of work, and for something to just kind of go away, it's hard to get people excited about that. But I think it's so energetic, and there are a lot of people who would be super into it, just to have, and not even in just downtown Lakeland, but like to spread it out throughout Lakeland. So could we have a pop-up exhibit on like the south side? What's going on the south side? Could we have a pop-up exhibit on the north side and be a little bit more inclusive with the arts?
Platform Art does some of that already. Their events are spread out pretty significantly. I have only been to 2, but the events that they've had are, they're pretty immersive. Like, the last one that I went to, there was like a fashion show. There was a ton of different art exhibits, and they had music, and and they like literally just take it a building that nothing's happening in, and make it a happening. Like
So
as
these
you're saying.
things are happening.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
just
that's great.
missing them.
Yeah.
I think that's great advertising for the building too, because who knows?
It
that
is.
Someone who comes to the happening might actually be looking for a venue and be like, "Oh, this is a great venue. I never thought I could use it in this way."
Yes.
Right.
But that doesn't preclude us from anytime we have an idea of something, whether it be, the Kiva contest where everybody comes together and you got to have a place where it stays stationary for a
Right.
time period. That's you want an empty building, but just because Platform Art does it doesn't mean we can't do the same concept.
More
the
Free
merrier, right?
space is
The
free
more the
space.
merrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we have a friend that has put on some improv stuff. And so that's something that, while this is all going on out here in Art City, like in Studio B, you could have an improv event going on, and then people would be walking right by all the art stuff to get into the building.
Of
et
course,
cetera,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole back sidewalk there. I mean, we can put all kinds of different people out there, temporarily to, display their works and whatnot, and, draw people into the building. If we have somebody out on the balcony that's like, occasionally barking out, hey.
Come on over.
They're
I-
called barkers.
Are they?
They are.
They're
That's
a
a
new
thing?
breed of people,
They're an old breed of
Sign
people.
spinners and barkers, right?
Yeah, there you
Not the
go.
sign spinner.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, we should produce some of the best sign spinners around, right?
Yeah, I think Art City needs a mascot.
I
Actually,
nominate
I
Rudy.
know
that would
someone
be
that makes
awesome. Yeah,
mascots.
totally.
Really?
Yes, I do.
My class,
She's supposed to make a mascot of me and my friend.
my 7th grade advisory group chose the platypus for their mascot, which is a really strange animal.
Yeah, mine is a DJ, so he's supposed to look like me, but he's supposed to have oversized headphones.
Oh, yeah.
And then my MC, he's supposed to have an oversized microphone, and they're supposed to look like us. So then because it's hard for us to run out into the crowd and smack somebody with a microphone, but it's easy for a mascot to do it. They run out in the crowd, bam.
So what would Art
Laughing.
City's mascot be? Would it
Dave
be
would
like
have a giant paintbrush.
I think a giant paintbrush would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or the mascot could be a large paintbrush. It just
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
a
Yeah,
point that goes
that's
up
right.
there, and the brush is behind whoever's walking at an angle like this.
There you go. Very nice. We have the idea there.
I know we spurred a thought from
Old.
Randy a minute ago. You had an
Lost
idea
Which
about
thought was that?
mascots?
Say that again.
What about the mascot for Lakeland TV?
It's a big TV. With
Big
the
TV.
Big TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already
Big
kind of got a
walking TV.
mascot. Like in my logo, there's the swan.
Yeah,
it's like
that's true.
taking flight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cheesy. I think everybody uses the swan here. Maybe it's a little overplayed.
Well, we also talked about doing an event where we can do a swan type thing here sometime to help sort of grow that same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not bad to have a logo that people recognize from a long ways away.
The ants eating a swan.
I think that's a little
and put-
anti-Lakeland.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You see, the thing is, like,
Oh,
and
the
put one
ants
at-
eating a peep, because they would go for that.
Yes.
oh, we could definitely get pictures of that.
Ants eating a peep.
Yeah, I've actually, I think I still have some
You
peeps left over
Google
from
it.
Easter that I can donate to the cause.
Do
They
you have a-
don't.
do you
They
have a
don't
microwave?
disintegrate. They don't. They'll be here longer than roaches.
Let me ask you a couple questions along the line. If we were going to have events, how frequently do you think that they would occur, or how soon would we take on one?
It depends how interesting they are.
And how
Yeah.
The frequency and
how much support we can get from the outlying people, like volunteers and people that are willing to contribute time and effort to.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and David were actually talking about this earlier. He was saying that we should coordinate with other events that are going on the Lakeland calendar, like the car shows and the, what was it, the plane show, what's it called, Fun and...
Sun and fun.
Yeah,
Sun
Sun
and
and
Fun.
Fun. And
Yeah, just a plane show.
Yeah. Any old plane show, you
Yeah,
know.
just any
Plane
any
show.
plane show.
Yeah, but like as far as I know, the plane show's over at dark
Over at what?
for Sun and Fun. Like the plane show
Yeah.
is in the daytime. And
It's not that easy to see planes at night.
right. So, but if you pick, events that are a bunch of people are already here in Lakeland, and
Oh,
you have
yes.
an event going on, like
Mhm.
basically stealing some of their crowd.
Yeah.
No,
But
we're,
the question
we're
is-
we want to
is-
coordinate with them.
Coordinate.
So-
The question is could we do it at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we contact them and be like, we're thinking about putting Art City there. This is what we're about. Can we have a space? Even if
that's
they won't give us a
excellent.
space for free, maybe they'll give it at a discount or something like that, and we can, pull our advertising funds, our $10 per art person
yeah.
fund
Rod,
or
don't
something
you know
like
someone
that.
at the flight museum?
Yeah, from the person that
Yeah,
runs
the
the flight
director.
museum.
Yeah. But I mean, if it were at a car show, maybe we could do, a contest with Kiva Planks about who can build the biggest car. Or,
Rat Fink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, these are really excellent ideas. Trying to think of the other events. What are the other events that come into Lakeland?
We have
Pig
the
Fest. We have the Pig
Pig
Fest
Fest,
and
Zombie Fest,
Pancake Festival.
Pancake.
Pancake Festival's coming up. It's the next one, matter of fact.
And what about like Tiger Town?
That's
Sometimes they have certain times when really either some premier teams are coming in or whatever. It draws a bigger crowd than other times.
yeah, we could do that.
And they have a lot of space out there. They got a hangar out there. You could even have your stuff indoors.
Actually, we do have a good one with Pancake Festival. Like we could really get on top of that one and start formulating the plan for Art City to exist there during that event. I don't think it'd be too hard for us to get in there and make ourselves.
The Pig Fest
Okay,
is
it sounds really, really obvious, but what is the Pancake Festival?
it's the Kiwanis. It's their fundraiser,
Okay. So
Yeah.
they make pancakes.
and everybody makes pancakes, and it's
They
do that.
literally feed thousands of people.
Oh yeah, it's just.
Okay.
I mean, it's a huge crowd. So if we could, figure out something.
Maybe Art City should make pancakes.
Yeah, like in the
The
shape of
culinary
Artistic
arts.
pancakes.
Oh, that would be funny if we had
Art
a
you
grill
can eat.
and just get different artists to go up there and they can use like ketchup bottles or whatever and
Yeah.
kind of squirt it into.
Have like little bits of dye in each of them. You make a little
Oh yeah.
pancake mural. How would you flip it though?
And you just have a little tip jar in front of it. Hey, take a little more. food.
Tie-dye pancake stand over here.
The tie-dye pancakes thing.
But
culinary masterpiece.
that might be a little too short notice for us. But
For
the
next year,
pancake.
definitely.
But the Pancake Festival, there's a lot of people out there, and the last time I went, there was the police department. They bring out their tank and all sorts of other things, and like there's different organizations that have little booths and stuff out there. The last time I was out there, there was like a bunch of plants that they were selling that somebody had a booth for that.
It
Hey
is.
Dave, there's an idea if you coordinated with somebody at a fest that you could wrap something of theirs around, like you do your the plastic wrap, that would be a cool, potentially cool venue.
Right. We could go to another big venue and build a thing that advertised for Art City.
Right. Yeah, because and looked like it was marketing for them.
Right.
Exactly. Because you're doing a great big whatever, but still that's.
But it's
It's
produced
like
by
who
Art
did
City,
that?
right?
so,
Right.
yeah.
I think we should try to start an annual street festival with bands and art. There was a really popular one in Milwaukee called the Bayview Bash, and it's like in its 12th year or whatever, and it keeps getting more and more bands. and more-
Blacksburg is the same way. They do a thing called Stepping Out. They have it,
Yeah.
I think, the first weekend in August.
It's
So
super
the
fun.
students from the university aren't there, right? So all the people that are locally there. But it has gotten so popular, same thing. Like before, you could just be, I want a band, I want to come. They're like, sure. Now
yep.
they're like, no, wait a minute. What are your credentials?
Yeah, or like we're gonna have to build you out to like 2017.
Or you're going to be on stage 3
Yeah,
because stage 1 is
Is for
taken
the main
stage
acts.
2 and then there's stage
Sucker.
3, right? Yeah. And
Yeah, but I
it's
think-
okay to be that way. That's how people grow in music, right? They
That's-
need
That's
to
right.
be
A
where the
little
other
rhythm can
musicians
go a long
are.
way for the art.
absolutely. And I think for us right now, we can do like a super cheap, just get the permits to close off a section of road somewhere in Lakeland. We can make it, like super grassroots. It doesn't have to be expensive, but like, we have in contacts with a lot of artists, obviously, all in the room, right? We have no shortage of artists, and then we could pick from whatever
So-
bands we want from the Bring Back Lakeland's local music scene. That Facebook page has like 12,000, or not 12, but 2,000 people who've liked it and want to see bands here, and we could do something really cheap for the first year, and it could build and build and build and
So
build.
this is
How-
like art crawl, but for musicians.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a
Is that
kinda
How about
I've
how
got
about
a list of
Yeah.
bands
Yeah.
already that we could reach out to.
Fight David, get in there.
Yeah.
And just out of
Cool. See,
curiosity,
we're done.
I mean,
We're done.
are you
Artist
Just
I
be
mean,
like,
well,
I'm
I-
talking.
I
I'm the mayor of
coordinate-
Art City.
I
God damn it.
coordinate everything as far as the entertainment for Zombie Fest. So all of those artists reach out to me all the time, and I've got a list.
and we're in a contest right now for the Gasparilla Music Festival, so we're going to get to know those people. And do you know the Chris Walker band? You know Chris Walker?
I have to look at my list.
Okay, he's a local Lakeland person also that performs at lots of other bars and things around town.
Country artist.
No, more like Santana type stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a really good
Oh,
cover
that's cool.
artist.
He's
Yeah.
a great Santana mimicker. Like, it's amazing.
So I have a location.
Oh, cool. We're almost done.
The the 14 acres that are behind the city of Lakeland that they didn't have anything happen with, and now the city is saying it might be 8 or 10 years.
What?
And so I'm thinking, well, that means that we got a place to do shit for 8 or 10 years.
Are you talking about behind the police station?
Yeah.
I was
okay.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that spot too.
Oh,
So-
okay. Well, you get to get half a credit.
Oh,
I'm
because he
just-
said it first.
Thank you. I will take half a credit, but I also wanted you to know that that's a cool place to do it. But I will take my half credit
Yes.
as well.
Everyone-
To do what?
Thank
a
you,
music
the mayor of our
festival?
city.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah,
music
so like-
festival. Yeah, or anything.
So like a
'cause you
little thing
put
like art
tents.
crawl, except
Yeah.
for musicians.
Well, and you got
so
a good
a bunch of
security
bands and
thing
stuff.
right there if it backs up to the police station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blacks up.
well,
you know,
I guess we would have to figure out infrastructure as
Yeah.
far as like what kind of power do we have on those
Yeah,
places.
especially if
Facilities.
it's empty.
well, the
Bathrooms.
the power substation for the city of Lakeland is directly there. It's right there.
Long extension cords.
But I mean, on those vacant lots, is there any power that we can access, readily or?
No, but if we do something that large, we can drop power into there from the city substation.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You just big cables laid down and across
That
the ground.
that would be our big thing though, and we could clean up that
Or we
property
could
in the
do generate-
process.
Yeah.
Generators.
Yeah.
Well, the city mows it at certain times during the year.
Yeah.
And so you try to coordinate
With
their
that.
mowing to coincide with. I mean, you'd have to do it with their permission anyway. You just can't do. I mean,
Right.
Would it be like a tenting event? Like people would be camping
well,
out
it's
there?
14 blocks that there used to be houses on them. you know, and so you've got streets around everything. You've got blocks laid out, and you know, so it's cool space.
Like if we
So
could
it's
fence
grass
it.
and concrete type of thing.
and brick,
How-
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
there's brick too.
Yeah, part of the streets were brick, part of it was asphalt, you know,
Oh, okay.
and
It
part
would
of
be amazing.
Part
That
of it's
would.
grass and everything,
Yeah,
but
the
I mean,
camping festivals around Florida, any ones that I've been to, or in general, like it's a good scene. You know,
Mhm.
people can just
It
park
is.
themselves there.
Yeah.
You could
enjoy
take
their
a couple of
weekend.
acres and put motorhomes on it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, we could really do this though. I mean, like it could be a big deal.
I think it would be cool.
Especially if it was like a camping event where like people brought out tents, like, and there's roads and infrastructure, and it's like right in the middle of downtown. So like
Yeah.
if you wanted to leave and go get a burger or something, like there's a McDonald's like
Yeah,
right
I
down the
mean-
street.
That's
You know, like,
awesome. I wasn't even thinking the camping angle, but that would be super cool.
I think the camping angle, like a 3-day, long weekend, I think that could be actually a
South
thing.
by Southeast.
Yeah,
That
that's what
w-
I said. This is the
Okay.
first South by Southeast.
The best thing.
Ooh, collective consciousness.
What time of year were we thinking?
We go up to see some
Creepy.
shows at the Swanee campground up in northern Florida. But the best thing about that place, compared with any other venues I've been to, is that they have like a little town village there, where there's a cafe. You can go inside and use an actual bathroom with plumbing, and then outside, there's a television with a sports game on, so the guys don't miss the games on the weekend. I mean, it's all hooked up. It's the
Because-
amenities are invaluable, especially if you're doing even a camping event in downtown.
Right.
The access to electricity and real
Camping at
society.
Art City.
Right. Well, the fact
Camping
that
and arts.
somebody
You got it.
You're roughing
That's
it
the tagline.
down.
I
We're
wonder.
done.
I wonder how difficult it would be to do that out there, though. I mean, that would be a lot of jangling that we would have to do with the city.
Yeah, that's a lot
Well,
of people to coordinate the camping, be the administrator over
And then-
that.
and then the
parking
insurance.
it's
We-
a lot of
issues,
porta potties.
A
A lot of porta people to clean the porta potties.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, you have to charge for things.
Of
Mhm.
course, of course.
And
And
when
that
you
means
do, you raise income, and then you pay staffs to accomplish things that you don't do yourself. It's a matter of proper front end planning, and
Yeah.
when you know how much it costs, then how do we make that happen?
And, if
And I
it'll-
wonder if the best course of action is to start a really simple grassroots festival just with bands and art initially until it grows. We get, a little bit of status behind us. And then
Yeah.
we say, we want to do this bigger. And then the city
Right.
can't say,
Right.
well, they can, but they'll be less apt to be like,
Well,
this
yeah,
is
sure.
just a weird.
There's
the
no
people
reason
behind
that
us.
you'd have to
Right,
take
right.
on on the
Right.
biggest. You don't have to go out and climb Mount Everest on your first hike.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
And
'Cause
if it
I'd hate
gets
to see us-
If it gets bigger, there are groups that you can sub out that legwork to that will do all the trash pickup and
Parking.
parking orientation
everything.
and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Camping registration, blah,
there's
blah, blah.
there's systems.
people will volunteer for tickets.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
there's
Yeah,
systems
definitely.
People
absolutely.
work for your ticket, and they'll sign up and do the whole schedule and participate like that. And some people do that and get in.
Mhm.
Do their festivals for free that way.
But there's so much property out there. I mean, like, why not reach for that? I mean, didn't we start this with the idea that we could do something big?
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm not saying we don't, but we
We-
can talk about it.
Yeah, we can
and
still do
Yes.
it. Maybe put it as a progression within a year
Yeah.
or progression within
yeah.
6 months.
If
And
we started
because-
doing some things there, so it didn't also
Yeah.
scare the city that it was so
Oh,
badly.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
see what you're saying,
sometimes
yeah.
you need to just kind of lull them to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like the time to do this is actually like the week before South by Southwest,
Yeah, that'd be great.
because you want to do it during the dry
What
season.
date is that?
You want to get it before it's like hot in the summer.
It's like April, isn't it?
April.
Yeah.
So this is like a next year thing.
Next year would be a next year
Yeah,
thing.
we need to start planning now though if we want to make it happen.
well, when we ask about it, they're gonna say no right away.
Nah,
That's
no.
That's why we need. That's
Not-
why we need all the fine
No,
details
Right,
worked
right.
out.
Not anymore. They're not gonna say no anymore.
Not
So
to David.
positive. I love this. Positive. Yeah, they cannot say no.
No, there's reason to believe that there's a significant softening of the attitudes at the highest levels of, it's the city manager. It's ultimately, yes, there's policies, but the city manager can say to any department there, hey, how do we make this happen? And their staff will make things happen.
Yeah.
So I think there's a significant softening at that level of government in Lakeland with the city manager and certain ones of the commissions, that we're going to see movement that is much more relaxed. And I've always been a naysayer, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that there's and with Julie Townsend being at the LDDA now, she softens the way. She does a lot of legwork in advance, and I don't think it'd be a problem at all to get that property.
Good.
Well, let's reach for the stars, Like, obviously we can't do it for maybe a year, but if we start planning it now.
So what are some things that we need to start planning for so I can write them down?
Well, hard costs. I mean, I guess that's like,
Okay, budget.
Well, we can form a committee to work on that as a separate issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we move and say that we'd like to have a large event maybe next year at that whatever, and I don't
Give me
know what
a rough number. How many people are you thinking of coming to this thing?
How many bands or how
many
many
people?
people attending?
Attendance.
Like 2,000, 5,000?
I mean, ideally, I'd love to see 5,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I think that's a good magic number.
First year.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, as soon as you guys said, I mean, I go camping and I go to a lot of outdoor events, and as soon as you said camping in the city, it was like, that is interesting.
Yeah,
is.
I think that's.
I want to go do that today. Like, let's go do that right now, you guys, because
I think it's a novel thing. Yeah.
I have access to anything I need outside of my camp.
Plus, you can stay in a hotel right
And-
there and walk
Yeah,
over if
oh,
you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like you go you find people over at the lake fishing.
Uh-huh.
So we could have camping sites and then 10 by 10 camping sites.
Yeah, I think that's almost the theme of it. Is like it's like you see the city, but there's this camper or campground in the middle of it, and it's like just odd, but
City
still fun.
camping.
I mean, that's a pretty novel idea.
It's
though.
a very good
Urban
City.
campground.
urban campground. Very themed that way. That just like definitely.
If we could make money on it on a regular basis, we'd buy that damn land from them. Just call it the
Just
urban
RV section
campground.
of it.
Yeah.
Start on a little commune over there.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to charge money, you got to have a fence, right? Because otherwise you can't.
Yeah.
People just walk in and out.
Well, and one thing I really appreciated with some events I've gone to is tiered pricing, where I've been interested in ones that are a 3-day event, but I don't want to go all 3 days or 2 days. Being able to like just pay for a day versus the whole thing, or getting a package deal is like
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, 'cause
I
we-
just think it's cool to have those options for people that want to participate.
And have you ever been to one of the camps where they feed you? It's just that's their theme, is that particular camp within the event. Like there's beer camps and there's breakfast camps, and I mean, like, and as you're enjoying your day, you can, if you're hungry, you go to the a food camp, and they feed you and are happy to feed you. If you go to another one, it's this one I've been to is the beer. It's like, oh, beer, awesome. Here's my mug. They fill it up and you walk off.
Yeah, if you have thousands of people there, that's the way to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and everybody contributes.
Everybody
But that's
Yeah.
what's the name of that event?
That was wow. I can't
I
remember
flanked
it right now.
data.
But
Yeah.
I think that's great. How about a STEM project?
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
And
Cool.
go to committee with this stuff. I think
Okay.
we're planning the event.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go to committee with that one.
All right.
STEM.
Yeah, so like the other STEM project we were talking about is building, things that are like humans out of kiva planks, and have a contest for that. And then you brought up having colored kiva planks so we can get a little more crazy with them or whatever. So we have that. We also talked about doing something where if we had a car show but we didn't have classic cars, we had like retro rods, and then kids could make models of cars or mock up cars and paint them different ways, or is that going
Out of cardboard.
out of cardboard, out of pizza boxes.
Or you want to have like a little soapbox race too,
Uh-huh.
like
That would be cool.
accentuate it.
We do have a nice hill in front of the studio over here.
Yeah, we do.
If you're gonna make them, you might as well race them.
Oh, we could do that. We could have a soapbox derby car
Or
race,
you
right?
could paint
where
the
you-
track.
Okay.
Maybe.
I would still like to see an adult science fair.
I
think
that's
there-
a thing. Yeah, why
Well,
not?
A lot of people don't like the science fair because you have to do 10 trials of your stuff and all that stuff, right?
No,
So
it's
we do
looser
innovation.
than that.
We do innovation
It's looser
fairs.
than that.
You have some crazy cool idea, bring it and present it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so like a
it's
creators
looser
fair.
than like the scientific method. It's more like, why do scenesters' pants fit so tight or something, and then there's like
Adult problems.
there's like a theory to it. It's ridiculous, but you're still kind of figuring out a
Like-
problem.
Like somebody walks in on the adult problems with just a bottle of wine.
That's my project.
My project. I've solved the problem.
Solved.
Problem
Well,
solved.
so you can have an innovation fair
Yeah.
where
Yep.
you can
There you
whatever
go.
you innovate.
Well, I think that's
build
two
it.
different things. There
bring a
should be an
prototype.
innovation fair. There should be an innovation. I mean, the DLP, their first Friday coming up is with all the universities around town, but they're doing more like a jobs fair. They're not doing it'd be so cool if they were like, you're a research institution. Has anyone
Make
won
some
any
crazy
major
thing and show it
awards
to us,
lately?
right?
What have they been
Yeah, show the
working on?
accomplishments
Show
of the
the-
institutions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And they're not to say that they can't ever do that, but I'm just saying this year it's more of like a career fair than anything. I think there should be an innovation fair. What are these? We've got 5 different universities around the area. What are they doing?
Right. So, like when I was at USF Polytechnic, I met one of the people that was like big in the solar energy, and they were growing algae to make fuel, right? So I was like, well, that's really cool. How come you don't grow it 24/7? They're like, what do you mean? I said, take the land where you're growing all the algae, put some solar panels up there and some batteries in the exact spectrum of light that will grow algae. And then when it's dark, the batteries will kick on and turn the lights on, and you'll be growing algae 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can triple your output, all of a sudden growing algae to make fuel is way more efficient and viable of a product. Whereas if you can only do it 8 hours a day, you're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those kind of things need to be out there on the street of
For
like
sure.
these cool ideas that people are thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because us being strategically placed in Florida. I mean, we've got sun all the time. We've got well, it's not very windy, is it? This isn't a particularly
depends.
windy state.
No.
But anyway, I mean, we should be thinking about, how we can get on board to be a little bit greener. I mean, obviously, we're going to have problems with the sea level rising, and we might all have
Beachfront
waterfront
properties.
waterfront property someday. But
A lot of other people will be over
Be
here with us
underwater.
because we're already high enough
Yeah,
above sea
we're-
level. They'd all be coming
gotta
hanging out
stake
on
our
our
claim.
island.
So
Yeah.
how do we start an innovations fair? Like, could we do it like after a farmer's market on a Saturday or something? Like we just kind of just change over the spot from being about artists to being about innovators, and we try to get innovators to come out on a
Yeah, like the
Saturday
Maker
afternoon,
Faire-
Saturday evening.
The Maker Faire atmosphere and vibe. When we went to like a little a day event, it was actually a multi-day event actually downtown Tampa. That would be a good meld. Like there is a community of people that like to do maker stuff and do hands-on. They'd be a good population to tap initially
To see
for
if they
doing-
want to do it with us.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
do like
Right.
a more creative
Yeah.
So
space.
Hillsborough County is
Innovation
having theirs
fair.
up real soon. There's an advertisement for it.
oh, cool.
And so Hillsborough Public Schools doesn't do like science. They still do science fair, but like the innovation fair is a way bigger, cooler thing. And it's definitely growing.
Is there one in Polk County that you know of?
I don't believe so.
Well,
And
that
so-
sounds
first.
that very academic and STEM of us.
Because
Hell
the thing
yeah.
that would be required would be to go to the universities, all the universities that are right here in Lakeland, and advertise that and let them know, and so they can advertise it at their school that we're going to have an innovation fair. And then same thing with Polk County schools, the private schools, and then to the maker groups,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're like
because they're already
organic
very interested in
community
it.
organizations.
So let's do that one too. We just have to decide which month that is.
Yeah, but we want to invite other people, like the
6
little.
months
Do we want to
after
like
the
take
music
over the whole
festival.
block though? Do we want to take over the whole block though? How big are we making?
Yeah. Do we
this?
want to do Munn
Are
Park?
we
Do we want
renting like
to break down
this
the
whole
streets?
space that they do the farmers market? Or are we like
Can
how
we
big a
have it
space we talking? How many people? Are we
inside or
talking?
outside?
Are we gonna need electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that would be
these are all very
dependent
good
about
questions.
those are questions
How
though.
many people sign
But
up
again,
for
you're
it?
planning. I mean, are you planning ideas here or the infrastructure of the thing?
Yes, that is a good point. Well, I mean, we could, if we want to have a little sidebar about these different projects, we got to get more people.
Right, and that's we all committed to bring one person tonight.
We failed.
I brought Monica.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I was gonna take
brought
credit for
Jessica.
Monica. Actually.
Yeah, right on.
And you took credit for Jessica.
Yeah.
You know? I reminded Randy.
No, I talked to mine last night. She was supposed to be here, and I was like, "Where you at?" So
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been really begging
Oh,
our
I
friend Warren to
failed.
come, and so we just can't get him here yet because he does this kind of stuff on his side of the world.
How are we gonna get more mics? We're just gonna be like, share.
Well-
mic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I
Well-
don't know. You know, I mean, then the question is it necessary to be a podcast in order to be an
True.
effective
Right, 'cause it'll-
situation?
It'll lose its coherency
Yeah.
It's
if you get
true.
too big, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we should maintain a podcast of sorts because
Yeah.
it is the preferred mode
Yeah,
that
so
for,
we'll just
for
sit
people
close
35 and
mics
under to
and-
hear, information today.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Well,
it's not radio and it's not TV.
Well, as you go into subcommittee, then you have podcasts on
Podcast.
that level also.
Yep,
True.
and they can just
Be
talk
like,
about what
okay,
we're
this
doing.
group you're gonna talk about the innovation fair. This group you're gonna talk about the music festival.
yeah. So if we were doing
Yep.
the Art City Music Festival,
Yeah.
that would be that group, and then we become recorded.
So we can have like
So-
a big main one, and then
Art
we'll
City
break off.
Innovation
Okay,
Fair.
you're on this
Yep.
committee. You're on this committee, type of
And
thing.
It's
that
it's
way,
actually really interesting to imagine like being able to listen to the planning stages of something like a concert like that. I mean, we've never done that, but I'm sure we'll be able to pull in somebody that has done it, and like I think that's an interesting conversation in and of itself.
Mm.
I agree, and I mean, even on a podcast, if it's going to be thematic, like it will be about, the innovation fair or whatever. We can pull people from that event and have them on the podcast. It will make it so great. I mean,
Absolutely.
it will be fresh every time. It'll be interesting every time. I think people will really be into it.
I promise you, there'll be 6th and 7th graders here.
Awesome.
I'll allow it.
I think our mascot doesn't need to be the ants though, because we're kind of having all these ideas, and we're like, we need more people to get the work done. So
For sure.
I think
It's
our
a
mascot should
light
be the
bulb.
ants.
So then we
it's
can-
it's not a bad mascot.
Right. So then instead of the Lakeland Swans, right, we'll have the Art City Ants.
Yeah.
that was
We
an
can-
O moment.
we can
guys.
sell them.
Oh.
We can
All
put them
right.
all around town.
So-
Gonna make it happen.
I love
So today, she built Rachel built a Facebook page for Art City Arts. Did you see that?
No, I haven't looked
But
at
I
it
need
yet.
to
I
look.
know
Yeah,
that
I
she's
saw it.
working on it.
Huh? I think.
Yeah, it's just called it Art City Arts.
Can we change
um,
it to Art City Ants? Like, well, I know Facebook it lets you change it once. I
N-
think.
Well, yeah, but the ants would be a single time thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
and we said Art City, and we needed to do something like, because it was already
Yeah,
a Facebook page, Art
In
City.
Egypt,
So we were going to call it Art City Lakeland, but then we said, that
it could grow other places. So.
and
Yeah, you can be a
arts,
traveling
Art
thing.
City
Mhm.
Arts implies the
The other
inclusion of
arts.
all
Oh,
of the
you're right,
arts.
yeah.
performing
And
arts,
so-
the
all that
music, the
stuff.
poetry, the
We
writing.
just
yeah.
made a mayoral decision, and we decided
You
to
need
call
a gavel.
Huh?
You need a gavel.
need a gavel.
Approved.
And
It's up to 95 likes last I saw.
okay,
Oh,
good.
awesome.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
So
That's all Dave's friends list.
You don't even Facebook that much.
no. Which, by the way, now that we have that, if you'll share it with all of your friend list, and it really doesn't matter whether they're going to be included in the future, we need our likes on that page to be big enough that we can merge all of our other various pages into it. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Once you get a certain size, and that way we can do away with some things and clean up some things.
Do we
along
want
the way
to?
too.
Did we start advertising on those other things? We're now Art City Arts.
No, we have not yet.
Okay.
That was a part of, content. You were invited as an administrator. I
Yes.
don't know. If
I know
you
I'm
saw
on
it.
the paint along. I don't know if I'm on the.
No,
you
you're
are
on
the
new
loft
one.
as well?
An
Oh, okay.
No,
administrator.
not the loft. Art
Oh,
City Arts.
okay.
And she is in. Do we put Monica on?
I have not put Monica on as an administrator,
And
but I'm perfectly happy to.
and I'm not opposed to any one of the people here that's involved at front end to putting on input. What do you think?
I'm fine with that as long as anybody that shows interest is wanting some administrative power. I'll certainly.
Yeah. So that we can, grow. Content-wise, you were talking about how do we get more people. One of the things that we saw when we were developing this is we need pictures.
Yes.
We need lots of pictures, and we need them from different angles that make it look different ways and posted in different ways so that we can.
I was thinking about
We just need to
get that.
document
I don't know
the
what-
day.
how much James charges, but he's our photographer. He comes regularly. He hasn't been the last few times just because he's been on vacation, basically. But I was thinking about asking him, like, what his rates are and stuff if he wanted to do an afternoon taking pictures and stuff like that. Because I don't know if you guys have seen his booth, but he takes really nice photographs and everything.
Give him a free week.
a free week.
Yeah.
James Newberry, if you put a camera in his hand, same thing. He'll come and
Same thing.
Yeah.
record all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll even go back and edit his video.
And edit, yes.
Yeah, and we can video or whatever. There's lots of things on there, but we need that, but we need everybody to like it so that we start getting that up and so that it starts getting out there. There's a point, though, I think on Facebook, and this is another issue altogether, that you actually have to spend money.
If
You
you
know,
want
I
to
mean,
promote
if you
your
wanna
page,
get-
Right.
there
yeah.
are
And there are
Yeah.
ways to do
avenues.
that. One other quick thing, because I want to bring up the other thing that happened today. Okay.
I think Randy just captured some graphic data.
Okay. The city of, not the city, the Transit Authority. We have participated in it since its inception, the thing. And we've been asked to run it, promote it this time. And
The
you know,
transit.
the citrus thing.
program.
Yeah, the Arts in Transit program.
That's happening.
Yes, we've
What-
just been asked today, Paint Along Studios, to to do it, host, to be the person, and she and I talked about it, and it's kind of it's an arts. It can be an Art City project, but
Yeah, let's
it's
do it.
also a paint. It's also a Paint Along Studios thing. Do you know what I mean? Because there has to be some connectivity to hand a check to somebody. There's no Art City that we can hand a check to right now.
Right.
So
So what
We
is
can
this
do it
event?
through.
they have art that is on the buses.
And it's a week-long thing?
It's a week-long thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Art on the buses?
yeah, they have music.
Oh, okay.
Dave was
poetry.
painting on the bus.
I painted on the bus, 3 times. We painted the murals down there at the
Yeah.
thing.
Saw
We
that.
had groups of people that came in and sang.
When
and,
is this?
it has not been determined.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
coming up.
because it was kind of Polk Vision. We were trying to do a second one, trying to do 2 a year last year, and then Polk Vision dropped out. But at any rate, they've offered me a budget of $5,000.
Wonderful.
Okay, and
I think we need to get as many artists as possible involved in this.
yeah,
So
There-
it's not you getting on the bus 3 times. It's every artist in Lakeland getting on the bus at least once during that week.
right. I'm not getting on the bus ever again. So
It's crazy, huh? Well, you give everyone pointers.
We'll paint a picture of you on
Yeah.
the bus.
What's wrong with getting on the bus?
because it makes you sick.
Trying to paint and on the
bus. And I don't have a desire to do that.
Just remember, the farther back in the bus you sit, the more it goes
Yeah.
up and down.
True.
Well, the other thing is when you get on the bus, at best you're painting to an audience of 32. And I found that I preferred a bigger crowd than that, so I'm off of the bus so that I can crowd. That's why we painted the murals last year, because I can paint in front of a bigger group of people. But so anyway,
How many buses do we have
oh,
in Lakeland? Like as far as as far as this event goes, that runs through
It's
the
Polk
transit
County.
station.
it's a Polk County event.
Yes. So how
Okay.
many?
I don't know.
So
Hundreds?
Citrus
Yeah.
Connection
Thousands?
would
How many
have
is
the
it? Okay.
information.
Yeah.
If you just go to citrusconnection.com or whatever.
So you're literally like you were just involved in like the between here and Winter Haven, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like you
Jane.
didn't go all
Well,
around the county.
you know, our marketing aspect of it has to include the whole of Polk County. But Jane Waters Thompson, who with Arts Ensemble, has typically run the Winter Haven side of the county. You know, and then others of us did whatever. Very frankly, the reason that they ask us to do this is that they get participation from artists, but sometimes it takes, you know, big things to make big news
Yeah.
out of
And
things.
it can't get big till you make it big.
Yeah, and you know, like last year, we painted all the trees. There were, I don't know, what was it, 40, 30 trees or something like that we painted, and then we painted the mural, and then there was the other events that went along with it that got the news coverage that everybody was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And what Art in Transit wants to do is make sure that it's a big deal, that it's not just a little thing somewhere
Yeah,
that happens.
not a drop.
So
in
this
the
is
bucket.
cool because it's, you know,
Splash.
something that's happened before, so people have heard about it.
Mhm.
How are we going to get Art City out there with regards to the event? That should be our main focus here. Like, how do we promote Art City at the event?
So when you paint
Make
on the
some
bus,
t-shirts
like,
and wear
do
them.
you bring something to paint on the bus, or is
Yeah,
there a
or,
part
I
of the
mean-
bus that you get to paint
Well,
on?
see, that's the thing. I proposed to them last year that we stretch wrap a bus and paint it. Okay.
I know, right?
And he'll provide 3 or 4 buses if we want to make a circle in the bus terminal and have a big music event, you know, which could be the culmination night, or we could have paint a bus a night that, you know, different artists did, and you had different kind of music each night. I mean, there'd be a lot of different.
What parts of the bus
so-
could you wrap though? Because certain
All
parts
of it.
get hot and the
No, they don't run the bus.
No emergency
Oh, okay. It's
exit?
just
They
for
park
display.
it.
Okay.
They just park it.
Yeah, but
Alright.
we want like a magnetic big thing on the side of the bus that we can paint, and it drives around town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want lots of people to see it. I
So
don't
you
think
see all these crazy buses going around town. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Oh, Art
Yeah.
City again.
Yeah.
taking over.
Well, you could certainly
Paint giant ants on them.
yeah, you could stretch wrap a bus. You'd have to be very careful to stretch wrap it in between all of
The places that
the
get
windows
hot and- yeah.
Right,
all of
right.
that kind of stuff. You know, my idea was just, you know, big space to paint on.
Right.
You know, bring a bus and we'll stretch wrap it, use the flat side and
Where would the bus
know,
be
to-
though?
at the bus station.
Of the bus station.
Yeah, which gives us an outdoor venue for music.
hmm
Very good.
you
And
know.
does the bus stop here? Does any bus stop here?
Oh, in front of the studio here?
Yeah.
Actually, I think there is a stop
Say, 'cause
on the other side of the building. Yeah.
we should demand, if not, that it stops here if we're
We
going to do
want a
something with
bus
Transit
stop.
Society.
Yeah. But so anyway, they have given me the option of saying yes or no. You know, I mean, obviously, and we talked today, and it's not something that I have any desire to do all of the
Work.
I'm just not going to do it. You know, so if it's something that we can do and manage that budget to where that $5,000 pays people to do whatever it is they're doing, then, you know, I want to say yes to that, but I want to make sure I say yes to it with
Confidence that we're going to get.
confidence that we're
enough
going to follow
staff.
through it because it is my neck, you know,
Yeah.
you know, that is out there.
Well, do they have a list on how they allocated the money from last year so that we can see how it's being?
No, but I
Used?
called Carol Saavedra, okay, who was the person from Polk, not Polk, is it Polk Vision?
Polk
Yeah,
Vision,
Polk
yeah.
Vision. And they said they would have done it again.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they were asked to do it again. We were second
Womp womp.
choice. I mean, you know, okay. But they are running that new Align campaign,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where they're trying to get everybody, so they don't have time to do it. But Carol said, I'll give you my files from last year. I'll give you my whatever list. I can give you phone numbers and everything of people that I contacted. I asked her this afternoon, okay, could because Polk Vision is a entity that everybody says yes to, would you make the first invitation? And then at the invitation, it be announced that, okay, glad everybody's here. Thank you for coming. Polk Vision has decided to pass the mantle on to but so that we get the
You get her
Advertising.
blessing.
you
The
get her blessing,
blessing,
but the
yes.
overmantle of people coming because they don't come for me as much as they're going to come for
Right.
Sarah
Yeah.
Right.
Roberts at Polk Vision.
Right.
You know,
I'm just trying to figure out a way that we could. When is it supposed to be? April?
it has to be after spring break or before spring break, because in order to get the kids, the universities in both the college and high school schedules, we'll have to look at. And
So we
the-
have two
and-
dynamics.
and before the end of the school year, it has been Arts in Transit Month has been in Lakeland. The first time they did it in the fall, the next time they did it 1 month, then they moved it to May, the same week as the Mayfair, and they didn't get as much participation because people that were involved in Mayfair were too busy to participate in the other. So I said, when does it need to be? And they said, it's our bus line. And we'll decide when Arts in Transit Month is.
Okay.
So I mean, they'll let us decide pretty much.
So there's
do whatever
nothing
we want.
saying we can't just say presented by Art City, sponsored by Polk Vision. We don't need to have we
Well,
don't have to
it's-
be an
it's-
entity, do we?
we
to
have
say.
to receipt.
Why? We
He
can
wants
just,
the check.
well, you
We
He
want
wants
the
the
check.
five. He
That's what I'm
wants
you
the
can
saying.
still just make the
$5,000.
check to Paint Along Studios. but you
Right,
can
that's what I said. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we decide how we do that in a responsible fashion.
So people, we need people.
So the two different dynamics of having it before or after spring break is before spring break, a lot of college students are focusing on finals are coming up. I'm kind of stressed out about it. But then some of them are like, I'm done with my final and I'm ready to relax and do something fun. The other dynamic of having it after is people are like, it's like Monday morning. They're like trying to wake up, getting
Yeah.
back into the groove of
Yeah,
things.
but there's
so
also high school, middle school,
I was
and all
gonna
that
say let's
stuff that are
do
involved in it.
younger kids.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
it's Art in Transit should cross the gamut. We ought to have a thing where 5-year-olds get off the bus in front of something the other and sing something to somebody. I don't know.
And also if there's an arts program at one of the universities, there's nothing saying that if we get our butts in line, we can't talk to a professor and say that being a part of Arts in Transit is a part of their final project. So instead of being something too busy for them to do, it is the thing they need to do.
We'll
before
have
they
for the first meeting, based on the last 3 times, if she does the thing, there'll be principals in the room the first go around. There'll be art teachers and various different people will show up and have their input. Somebody from the ISO, somebody from the theater department, and but then certain ones will either get behind it or won't. And then it's beyond that. What do we make of it? Because if we do an event that's at night over there that features I don't mind putting our brand on the bottom of anything we do.
It's 2 days? How many days? A week?
It's
a week. Arts in Transit.
So could we
There-
have
she got like a
s-
Did
kickoff
you
and
have
a farewell.
any pictures from last
event.
year?
It's all over the newspaper, the Ledger.
And nothing web wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could had students in costumes singing on the bus
Yeah.
because they could advertise for the plays that they're doing at All Saints,
Right.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be cool.
or other drama troops or anything around
Right.
like that, right?
Or they could do just their own improv thing that they just got on the bus at a certain place, did the thing, got off, got the next bus, and went on.
Oh, don't tell Warren that.
That'd be fun though.
Do you know
That
what I
would
mean?
be
It could
fun.
be just an in and you know,
What's
on
with
and on.
war and
And then, but you know what else would be really cool with that is to have some camera from Lakeland TV following around and
Right.
filming, documenting some of that stuff, right?
Right.
Because you want content.
Yeah, I do.
We
want
got all
content.
kinds of stuff
you
that's
need
going
like
to
a
produce
guerrilla
lots of content.
documentary going on that week.
As Arts City wants content,
Yes.
more arts.
Right on.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that happened today. So I thought it was kind of a interesting thing that
last
I see. Aaron and I had decided we were going to repaint the mural down there regardless, and
Mhm.
make a musical event and do music and so on and so forth
Repaint the mural.
that we did at the bus station.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I picked up the phone and called Tom Phillips and said, Tom, and he said, I'm glad you called because I needed to call you this week to see whether or not you would host the, be the whatever.
Good timing.
Yeah. So
Do they have banners they put on the buses? Because like a lot of city buses have like a big banner thing that sort of slides in a little part. You can just pull it out, stick a new one in.
yeah, I'm sure that there's places like that and things on their pickup stations that can be used too. One of the things though that that I would like to do is make the bus terminal look inviting
Yes.
using art, rather than it just being a an exposition that we put on and then when it's over it's it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That place is so institutional but ugly. You just wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, you could have like
And-
the yellow brick road, the little place where Dorothy landed.
Well,
And
In Philadelphia,
Yeah.
they've got like nice little stained glass motifs in a lot of their bus stops and stuff. So I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Do
There,
Sounds
I
fun
mean,
idea,
there's
yeah.
there's all kinds of things, and I think that's part of what would be interesting is to do something down there with community. Have you ever been? Does anybody know what Paint Your Heart Out is?
No.
No, please explain.
Okay, well, it was an organization a number of years ago that the idea was that there's little old ladies in the world that
Oh, I
houses are
remember.
deteriorating and they can't
Yes.
afford to paint them, and so just a group of people on Saturday go down there and all collective, and it got to be where every contract painting company and church group and whatever
Yeah.
was
I wor- I wor-
going to do that, and then it get to be a problem because someone fell or whatever, and there was insurance things, and it scared everybody, and Paint Your Heart Out almost went away. Now they still exist, but they're real small. But I think there's a way to connect community in such a way that we could make a lasting impact on the transit people's experience rather than it just being something we did to attract attention to ourselves. Philanthropic for a change. I hate that.
Hey,
Not terrible. It's just the market's kind of cornered on that around here. I mean, like you can do more grassroots things. It doesn't always have to be
Yeah.
like. This is gonna make me sound like a terrible person, but it doesn't always have to be for an external charity. You don't have to always do like huge events that are super fancy or anything like that.
Well, plus, at some degree of this, we want to build our own resources
Exactly.
so that we're not all
exactly.
dependent on all these other groups to do this stuff.
Yes,
and
and
we
that-
get
yeah.
self-dependent,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm. Yes.
Even if that means some millionaire just gives us a whole bunch of money,
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna
whatever
kick
way
that out of bed.
happens is okay. Right.
Does
Well,
anyone know any millionaires?
You're right.
Well,
Next question.
Uh-huh. How
Yeah.
about billionaires? There's lots of billionaires here too.
it's based on what you do that people fund you.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. If you're not doing cool stuff, if we start doing cool stuff and we're a not-for-profit and we start doing cool stuff, you can ask for sponsorships all day long. You'll get them because they're advertising dollars for most people. They don't
Mhm.
even think about them as being, that they're just buying advertising slot.
I
Like-
was,
like
I was
the-
at Star Riser yesterday with an artist, and they wanted to hear the artist, right then and there, and it's kind of on the spot, and it's like looked at him, it's like go for it, and he captured their hearts instantly,
Mhm.
and it was like a bidding war, after that.
Yes.
They wanted him, but I was there for the sponsorship. Like, we're here for the sponsorship. This is where you're gonna get your logo at, and the back of the shirts, on the hats. Da, 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 da. So yeah, you're right. Is if you have something that they're interested in and it's cool, they will just
it's not nonprofit dollars.
Yeah.
They'll pay money
pay
to
money.
sponsor an
That's
event.
right, because they were asking like, well, what's it for? I was like, well, it pays for gas, food, hotel stays, all the extra things that we need.
And I think, that's where we need to, as a group, be really conscientious about how we set off on our journey to do all of this, because with Culture Lab, David and I had some pretty rude awakenings trying to get that off the ground. And I think initially we were trying to be too formal with it. If you look at a lot of projects that have become successful, something like Burning Man began with like 6 hippies going out onto the beach and burning an effigy. And now it's a huge multi-million-dollar event every year.
Julie was really upset with me talking about putting things on fire in the lake.
Well, yeah, because you want to continue on with the legacy of burning down the Christmas tree, correct?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It happened here in the city. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
first
didn't know
Christmas
anything
tree
about
they
it.
put out in Lake Morton, I believe. They decided, and here, every time we talk about science nerdy things, there should be like a boing noise that happens on our podcast.
Go ahead.
Because, like, okay,
Boing, boing, boing.
yeah, boing, or some kind of onomatopoeia that'd be, appropriate. But anyway, so the first Christmas tree, the light bulbs were only clear, and so this guy named Wolfson.
Yeah.
Wolfson. So his like troop of boys, I don't know if it was a Boy Scout group or whatever, they decided they wanted colored bulbs. So they painted them with lead paint and then they lit them on fire. And all of us, they had the whole town around waiting for this first Christmas tree to be lit, the mayor and everything, right? They light it and all of a sudden, whoosh, and the whole tree just
Christmas
started on
tree.
fire.
Please, somebody have that on video.
I know, right? So that was
before video.
Yeah, that was Lakeland's first Christmas tree lighting. Might be a good legacy we could bring. But yeah,
Christmas
burning
tradition.
things are always a huge, hit for people. They seem to be fun. But
They are.
but my point, I digress. Let me get back to my point that if we start small and build a really good collection of people, a grassroots collection of people, it will just organically get big. It just will.
Yeah.
The need in Lakeland, it's here. We can't. I'm strongly urging we don't get bigger than our britches before it's too. Before it's too. Before
Because
too
like
soon.
one thing that's going to happen in the background, as Florida Polytechnic grows, I mean, there's going to be 10,000 students here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really into all this innovation, invention type stuff, and so that's going to grow and permeate in society. And the professors they hire and those professors' kids and all that stuff is just going to. There's nothing you can. It's like a steamroller. It's just going to happen.
A steamroller.
And we have beautiful,
A
grandiose
steamroller, a steam-
ideas.
no,
Oh,
steam.
yeah,
Can't forget
yeah.
the arts,
No, don't forget the arts. Because we have beautiful, grandiose ideas that will mature. But I think we need to do more little things right away than saying we're going to do 2 huge things. Because, as Randy said, there are other things in town. There's platform art. There's the art gallery. I mean, these people all get sponsorship. They're already doing these things. We just need to be a place where people can come and hang out and do happenings and have music and have art initially. We will get bigger, but right now we can't compete with those bigger organizations that are already doing things like this.
Right, like if we did a music thing here, like if we can fill this parking lot up, that's a start, right? Then
Yeah.
you
Right.
can say, then you're
we
like,
can
well,
do
next
that
time we need more
easily.
space, we need to go over to Tigerland.
Right.
And 'cause-
Exactly.
Because see, Tigerland already has
Or
facilities
Lionsgate.
for going to the bathroom and all that stuff, right? And then if you say we're going to get bigger, we're going to take that 14 acres back there and have like a camp out music
Exactly.
festival.
But I would
So-
say more and more. Do a majority of smaller things
Do
first,
the
and
smaller
then
things really well.
yeah. I mean, you
Plus,
can do
then
that.
we'll learn like what things to
Organize.
watch out for when we do
and
the bigger
what works,
events.
what doesn't.
So I don't know if you we put on the first Lego League World Championship over at All Saints Academy. We had 2,200 kids come from all over the world. We made a simple little decision in the process of doing that to find a way to keep the people here for 4 days instead of 2, like that generated $500,000 worth of money coming into Lakeland to stay at hotels and have meals and all that stuff, just from a simple, just a good decision. And the event was very awesome. But we planned for this event for 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, minimum.
We met, like once a week for 8 months.
Right. Yeah, no, I think we can do big stuff like that, but I think to have the staying power right now, we have to do a lot of things often, a lot of little things often.
Yeah, because we all had jobs that paid us too. That
Right.
so
I mean,
weren't
we're all
dependent on that.
we're all volunteers and we don't have a budget, so we could put together a simple like show outside somewhere, super easy, and have like 3 bands and like local artists just show stuff. Or, I mean, not even that. We can do a lot of little things
But our first
I'm
one
glad to
could be
see you
the
here.
arts and transit.
because
Our first one could be the arts and transit thing because we already have a budget
you
for
have
it.
the money for
Hey,
that, right?
we have something with a budget.
Yeah.
That could be a big kaboom,
Yeah.
right? A good
And
start.
and then as we gather those artists to do that, then we have more artists to do other things. It's
Mhm.
kind of sneaky shit.
That is sneaky. That is sneaky shit. Sneaky shit.
That's gonna be a shirt. Sneaky shit.
I
I think we just named the podcast.
Yeah. Like, what does that shirt mean? Hey,
you gotta figure it out for yourself
It's
if
sneaky
you
shit.
dare.
It's my sneaky shirt.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I want that shirt, and then I want the shirt from the kid on the jerk that says bullshit.
Hey,
Best shirt ever.
Aaron came to join us today, so if you don't mind just introducing
Aaron.
yourself and saying a moment so people that are listening to the podcast get who you are, and this other voice just showed up.
Oh, yes. Hello, I'm Aaron. I'm an artist within Lakeland. And
Are you an artist outside Lakeland or just while you're inside the city limits?
only when I'm inside the city limits. Outside, I'm totally somebody else.
Okay. Just checking.
How many personalities do you have?
Double life
Many.
thing.
Many websites.
So it seems like that to sort of looking at the big picture here, we need some either locally grown, really sort of well-known, famous artists. Same thing with music. Same thing with, several different arts categories to sort of adopt us.
I'm willing to be famous.
Right on.
I volunteer.
I tell you what.
Taking one for the team.
I'm pretty big in Prague. I'm just going to let you know.
In February, we have a local event that I think I spoke about this before. It was Color Vibe, and I don't know how we can possibly get involved over there. I brought these hats a little bit earlier just so I could kind of show you guys something that I do. Is I get a blank hat. I wear it throughout the event, and then once it's done, I bring the hat. And by the way, they kind of look like, how would you guys describe them? So
Tie-dye.
Easter
kind of
egg.
like tie-dye, right?
Yeah.
So I just wear them naturally. They get wet from the moisture, probably sweat. People throwing the colored powder at me and things like that, and vice versa while we're partying. But I was thinking maybe that we could probably even get involved some way, whether it's the shirt or T-shirts, and have ants and have those people.
Our ants could go through there and
Yes,
get all
exactly.
splashed with
Splashed
color.
color,
We could have
and
people
so,
in ant outfits.
But it also has the awareness of like this group and what we're doing in the community, and plus I'm the guy with the microphone the entire time, so I
Nice.
can also help promote from there
Like
as
there
well.
goes another ant, Art
So,
City ant.
There we go. Have you guys, the Art City Ant come up on stage. It's like, this is what happened with you guys painted this ant, and you see all the variety of different colors on it. Just an idea, throwing it out there. We can still brainstorm on it some more. But I mean, it would be, be awful if we didn't utilize it as an opportunity. With
Yep.
the same way that we're connected to the buses, the same way that we have an event coming out here. This is money that's leaving Polk County as well.
Right.
So or Lakeland. So that we can also is like, okay, well, let's make the best of it. If something's going to happen, people are going to show up. They're going to have a great time. They're going to remember my showcase. I know that they always do, but I would like for them to also remember this as well. They connect the dots with the ants. Like, oh, well,
Yeah.
Rodriguez is going to be over there, and that group that he's with is going to be over there at Lakeland TV. We need to go over there next week. That's what they said. And it's like I think that we can connect it in some kind of way. There's a lot of things that we're all doing, individually, that can connect the dots.
I love the Art City Ants as promotion, marketing. Like, it will get people's a lot of attention really fast and easy to spread, and like has a lot of good positive things about it. I don't know if you weren't here for that. We were talking about
Thinking
doing
about
a
mascots and
STEAM
such.
activity where different groups of people made ants, large
Mhm.
ants, and that they put them out different places
Different-
around in Lakeland, and that they all led to here for like an Art City
So
event.
they're like kind of spread out, and then you see like more of them and more of them. And you're like, where are they all going? And then you're like, see the most of them.
And they're all like
Like that
pointed,
event,
walking
yeah.
in this direction, right?
Find,
And
find also where the swans are and have the ant kind of crawling over them too. Just
Yeah, we wanted to put a few on buildings also.
that's awesome.
well,
I love that.
I want to be really respectful of
Or to the side.
Carol Barnett,
Oh,
simply because she is also a colleague and a person that sometime in the future, that if we really needed a resource, she has like a different level of resource than most of us are familiar with.
we can integrate
So
it.
we'll
That's
put
a really nice way
so
of
we'll
saying
put
that.
some ants coming off of the birthday cake, the Publix birthday cake tower.
Oh,
yeah, right
Okay.
on.
that's awesome.
I like
Do you
that.
know? I mean, because if you're going
That's
to
a
be
great idea.
respectful,
with
you
pieces of cake in its mouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
The cake's so delicious, ants will eat it.
I'm for it.
Or if that wasn't
Where's
so
their
far
mound- where's
away,
their
we could
mound
make
at?
that the birthday cake they devour, but it's so far away. But for the right amount of money, tell Carol we'll have the ants come there.
Would it be slightly like installation, or would it be kind of a one-day thing?
I think it's at least right now a one-day thing,
Mhm.
and then we could reuse them for
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
other events, whatever. We'd have a
Yeah,
Well-
we were discussing how permanent we wanted them to be.
Yeah.
Well, I think
As
if you
material.
if you put them out there and leave them, you don't really run any risk as long as they've been secured sufficiently that the wind is not going to blow them away or something like
Some
that.
people just like to carry them away.
And well, yeah, but that's a natural thing. Along the line of ants, there's a few always get eaten.
It's true.
You know,
We're squashed.
yeah.
And it's the same
Yeah.
thing when I bring
Yeah.
rocks and minerals into a classroom and a student, a ninth grader or a 10th grader steals it. I'm
Yeah.
like, they're so interested in rocks and minerals, they want to steal my rocks and minerals,
Yeah.
like right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like that.
In the DC area, they
Yeah,
have giant pandas for
Yeah.
their zoo
Mm-hmm.
as a mascot. And when they first started that, it's very much like the swans out in Lakeland, all decorated uniquely. But they had a panda caper, and it was in like the first week one
I-
time, and there
I
was
could-
a stolen
It,
panda.
it's almost
could
good
tell-
advertising.
Yeah, it is.
Could we plan on
could-
stealing a
I'd-
few
no,
just
no,
to get it in
It
the
is.
newspaper?
Who wants to
If you, have
volunteer?
if you have somebody that actually comes out and they create a very large
Marching.
kid with a magnifying glass,
Yeah.
it's like I one upped you. It's like
That's
I
right.
love that.
You know, then we come back and we have a mama getting ready to spank the kid.
Leave that ant alone.
See, I would be delighted to see a Bob's Big Boy somewhere with an Art City ant on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Or
So-
some fraternity or sorority house or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So are we if we throw the bus station in the loop as an event that becomes Art City, you know, we're in for that. Do we want to, you know,
The
and-
ants will have to appear at this thing somehow.
Well, let's make it so that, you know, if it's students, if it's like a student contest or something, it has to be upcycled from plastic, so you're not throwing away your plastic, and it's like a green project.
Mhm.
That's
you
a nice
know.
idea. Upcycling is great.
Yeah, yeah, and that way,
Have a green event and you can advertise that.
absolutely,
Recycled materials.
and that's and the plastic's something that can stay outside, as we know all too well, forever.
So, what would inspire people to go make this ant and bring
I
it
think
in?
They're
Uh,
making a giant ant.
Yeah. I think,
it depends what she looks like. There's a
Mhm.
few uncles. No.
I was thinking about businesses, targeting businesses, especially
Mhm.
food businesses.
Or
certainly for all the sororities
extermination
and
companies.
they would want their ant there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Maybe
right.
all the local bars would want to have their ant there, which they
Yes.
could collect back later and keep it at the bar if they wanted
That's
to.
right.
Yes.
But you know what may not even be bad is if we start that momentum. You know,
Oh,
we
absolutely.
in ourselves create our first ants. You know, each one of us, and that starts the momentum because then people can have something visual that they can go by.
Well, some of the ones that that we maybe decide to put on buildings, that could be up out of the way so that they wouldn't be damaged, that could last for a long time. We could create ants that were up on the side of a building.
So what we're currently doing is looking at a photo on a cell phone that looks like, what is that?
Spiders.
They're
Spiders.
upcycled light bulbs and made
Upcycled
into,
light bulbs. That's
Mm.
made
beautiful.
into
Right.
ants.
All
That
right.
is cool.
So I've got some ideas
cool.
already. I think we should do that as a little challenge
So
amongst
Art
ourselves.
City
is-
Arachnopods?
Yeah, we should see
is
what
each of us for next week's challenge is we should create our ant and bring it in,
Yeah.
and then
if
see.
you can't actually create like your masterpiece
yeah.
ant that you want,
I mean,
at
just
least
like
have a
the
design
beginning
or a little
design.
or
one
at least
of
a
it.
prototype, like
Prototype.
a drawing
Homework.
prototype, something.
Design
Sounds
an ant.
good.
Bring an ant.
All right, sounds good.
Some
The
kinda
winner
ant.
gets a
An ant farm.
ant farm.
I hope I don't win.
Winner gets a bottle of wine. Yeah.
Winner
But-
gets an ant eater.
I like that better.
Right? The bottle of wine?
Yeah, that's way better.
They can always
But
share with their
this-
friends.
This group has to get bigger
Yes. we still need
without
to
getting
bring-
bigger. Without, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
always
so-
has to be a group, but you have to include people in the group in such a way that we can start breaking off
I-
into subgroups and
Yeah.
start our own little
Right.
colonies
We
of
want to
ants.
start
And
that. Do we
we
want to
have-
go over the few things that we have talked about and say, okay, you're in charge of this committee, you're in charge of this committee? Not necessarily kicking anyone out of that committee, but so they can start building
Nucleus for their
nucleus.
committee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we want to start
Well,
doing
I know. I know. I
Well,
think
I don't know.
We
Our
don't-
newest one is art and transit. So do we want to just start with art and transit and everyone's on the art and transit and everyone needs to find 2 other people to bring for the art and transit
what-
committee?
I also don't want to lose sight of we're trying to grow Art City
Mhm.
and the people that come here and bring art here
Yeah.
on the weekends or on Thursday night and that stuff. So I just want to lose track of
when
it.
is
Like,
that first
Lo-
Thursday night going to happen?
Yeah, when's the first truck night?
Oh, Thursday Squared is always the second
Second
Thursday of the
yeah.
month.
Second
Yeah.
Thursday of the month.
I don't know
Okay.
about doing it on food truck night just because we went to food truck night last time and
I think we're on the back side of it.
we're the back side of it and the trucks are really loud on the other
Mhm.
side. They have
Yeah.
music in the center where Munns Park is, but we're on like the outskirts, so it's almost like they're blocking us out. We were
So,
looking at the dynamics of that.
Have you guys
so
heard Randy's system before? Like,
You need some music up on the patio.
if we
I mean,
put
on the
music
porch,
on the
right?
patio
Yeah.
with his system,
I just think that we'd have to coordinate more with them, saying at least have the 2 trucks that are blocking to either like be at a different angle or something like that,
Yeah.
just so we're not
Let's-
excluded from
let's
that event or
leave the-
competing with it.
Let's leave the inclusion of multiple more nights alone until we can get more people
Okay.
to the times we have.
okay.
Yeah,
You know,
because
sounds
I'm,
good.
And
I'm
then
telling
you
you,
can
right
say-
now that unless Art City is a part of the DLP, they're not going to care how you want the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to move them. I mean,
Yeah, so we need to get bigger before we
Right.
branch out to that. So
But if
right
we
now
get
we have
big
the
enough,
Saturday sales and the first
will make
Friday
the trucks move.
events.
Yeah.
well,
They
I
will
can't
clear it
even
in the way.
promise
We'll-
that.
we'll-
I'm
we'll-
just saying we're not going to make
We'll
any
point
headway
all of
right
our
now.
ants in a certain direction so that people have to follow the ants.
Yeah, don't run over my ant.
Yeah.
Don't even think about parking your truck where my ant is parked.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's just rude.
Your ants are eating my food.
Make it like a what do they call that? A not an obstacle course, but like if they come to the first ant or any of the ants and ask a question about like what is this about, just give them a little ticket. They read it. Oh, you have to go to the next ant, or go to Lakeland TV over there in the parking lot. Kind of guide them. People do need to sometimes be handheld to that place.
Mhm.
And if
We have
c-
to smell sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Very good.
Would you like an ant cookie?
yeah.
and if
These are
we if
sugar
we
ants.
Do
produce
you
some
smell
really
sugar?
if,
I do.
Ooh, baby.
if we produce some amazing ant sculpture type things
Mhm.
around, then people might want to be sponsoring
Yeah.
it or like I want
That's
my
right.
name on that ant.
That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That and I think
Yeah,
that
they
we
might be like
that we underestimate a raffle. If we really get out there and we have our ants that are out there and we're doing a raffle and pointing to people to the right place at a certain time for this raffle, I don't know what we could use as raffle items, but simple things.
An ant.
Raffle off an ant.
Right. So then we're gonna need ant earrings and ant jewelry
Yeah.
and ant
But
T-shirts.
I think
and,
that
Art City
even
ants.
if we have those trucks there blocking the way or people can't see, it's really up to us. I'm quite easy to be able to tell someone's like, you got to go that direction. It's that way.
follow the ants.
But But right now we have
Yeah.
we have all these First Fridays that we are having 4 or 5 people at. Our concentration has to be about maxing those
20.
numbers on the nights
Our
we
goal
do,
is 20.
or reduce the number until we get to that. You know, what I mean, you have to reach production capacity before you start expansion. You know,
Mhm.
into the other areas. So
So we want a band at the next one. I know we've talked about that, right?
at
Multiple
the next
bands.
the next
bands?
one is First Friday. Or no,
No,
it's not.
it's a Saturday.
We've got Saturday. Next Saturday is a
Morning event.
morning
Saturday.
event.
Right.
So if you wanted to do music,
We can do music.
we can do music
Mhm.
next Saturday, right?
We'll do
I'm
music.
just
But
I'm
we-
concerned about getting the artists there because on our newsletter we have 107 people. Only a few people are responding to it. I don't know like if they just think, "Oh, it's not worth my time," or if they have other events going on. I know our regulars just this last week 2 of them had 2 different events. So they just let me know. It's like, "I'm not going to be there next week. I have another convention I'm going to." But I'm having a hard time getting more artists to be there, and I keep like explaining it's not going to get big until you make it big. If no one's willing to make it big, it's not going to get big.
Did you talk to Cynthia? Did you call her?
I haven't called her yet.
Yeah.
Well, I know from like when I try to do events like with my students that I had at T.C. Williams High School, where they're all in the Washington D.C. area. Whenever we go see them, if I go on Facebook and send them individual messages, I get responses. If I just put it out on Facebook, like hardly anybody will show up. So they will take that probably personal phone calls or emails or whatever.
The thing
to
is that I don't
artists.
know all the artists that are on the list. Some of them were from David, and then some of them were people I met at Art Crawl, so I do know them. But all the ones I know are coming.
When,
Would
you
I-
introduce
would I-
yourself, they will know you.
What I'll
That's
start-
true.
I mean, I'll start doing as well as contacting the people that are on my list, because I always advise them, and I highly advise them if they want, because what they want to be is in front of a large crowd, massive crowds,
Right.
especially the entertainers.
But if you want to be in something that's growing,
You want to be in something that's growing,
That's it.
you need to start coming out. But in order to be in front of that larger crowd later on, support these new things and be part of
Start
that
creating
support
a following
structure
with the smaller crowd.
with the smaller things that are trying to be developed, because that small thing will eventually become a big thing.
Right.
yes.
And it's highly encouraged, because when they do come to me and it's like, hey, I want to be in one of your events, and it's like, okay, because you were supportive of the things that the ventures I've had, that will more than likely put you on a platform somewhere or a stage somewhere where you have a large crowd of people. So I'm going to reach out to them that way and just say it's highly encouraged for them to start coming out, supporting this new event, and see if we can start pushing some people out this way. I know I can always reach out to the creative guys, the entertainers, and they will come out. I have to really dig deep to find any of the other. Most cases, some of those entertainers are multi-talented in some type of creativity. So
Cool.
that's what I'll do on my side. I'll reach out to those artists.
I will do the same. I'll encourage some people to come out for the Art City, bring their art.
Even if
Right.
they
I'll try to. I've been trying to find all the different artists that I have on the list on Facebook and stuff like that, but maybe I'll try to contact them through that and just get to know them a little more. And like, are you living in the Lakeland area? Do you want to start coming to our event?
You think
Type of
Claire would
thing.
help with this in any way? Would she know some artists that might come out?
She'll pass us downhill, but it's a possibility.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that we should
Well, what
contact
other-
like the
no.
colleges for the graphic design because every
That's a
time I
good
come out
idea.
here, Carrie Percy pops into my head, and I'm not sure if any of you all know her, but she's an amazing graphic designer, and she's an amazing artist. I mean, she's always out there doing something creative.
So even if
So
that
Carrie
person-
Percy, this is Nets Rodriguez giving you a shout out. You better come and join this event.
right? Well, maybe we could, because this is the other thing that Rachel thought of one time, is having a featured artist
Yeah. Ooh.
and then setting up a canvas thing for them to paint or whatever while they're there.
Ooh,
right?
she would like that too.
There you go.
Yeah.
An advertising
I think it's
idea
20.
that I was
20
just
for what?
showing Dave
To
was
display
To display what?
your art.
It's $20, right?
For what?
Art City.
No, it's $10 on Saturday and 20 on Friday because we're trying to encourage people to bring another person. So we're like, we'll give you the $10 if you bring another person, or else it's $20 on the first Friday
Okay.
because it's a night event. So lots of artists like to sleep in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not as many come to the Saturday
And
events.
are
Yeah,
there
as
are
a
there
rule.
lights for this so that people can? See
There's
it?
electricity available. We tell them to bring their own lights, and we have extension cords. So our first one went well. Almost everyone brought enough lights and everything, and
Okay.
We'll soon not need it. We're less than a month away from.
And when you say bring a person, you're like bring another booth exhibitor with you, or
Right.
just like a warm body.
no, we
No,
don't even
it's
care
just-
if it's
yeah,
a
we
dead
don't-
artist.
No,
we
it's
don't
just
have
an
any.
elevator.
We don't have any requirements.
Yeah.
It's just suggestions. So we're like, if you're worried about someone touching your art while you're using the bathroom or getting something to eat, bring someone.
Right.
But
So,
other like most of the time, like Aaron will just come by himself. Sometimes you won't even set up a table and just be like, hey, I'm gonna use the restroom. It's just someone next to him is like, okay, I'll watch your booth. So
all right.
it's
So,
not a big deal.
so are we all in agreement that Carrie Percy will be our first targeted artist to come out and
Just
be?
That's fine.
Yeah.
that's fine. I
Does
mean,
she
you
have-
know,
Yes.
Yeah, she's
do
like-
it.
Right. Is do I have to tell her she has to pay? If she's
No.
what
Right,
is
and
it?
what's the-
She's a musician.
no, she's an artist. Like she can do anything art. You tell
Yeah.
her to do hair, she's going.
No, that's a
paint
different
this
thing.
pen.
She's a
Right.
She
she's
will,
a exhibition.
The
So what was the
featured
name?
artist does not have
featured
to pay.
artist.
Right.
Okay, so featured artist. That's what I want.
Art City's first featured artist.
Just as a suggestion, advertising wise for Art City, I was showing Dave the county to the west of us, their website for the Hillsborough Arts Council is very comprehensive, and even though we're not technically in Hillsborough, they'll advertise anything in the general region that's pertinent to the arts and performing or visual or whatever. So the Art City could certainly be something that they might elect to have on their website just to promote as an ongoing event that people can be exposed to from that angle. So I mean, just ripping some of the warm bodies from Hillsborough art scene and bringing them over here and exposing them to other opportunities is also a good possibility.
Yeah, because in the Loft Art Gallery, in 14 months we had 2 local artists. It was always someone else because the same offer went to all the local Lakeland, Polk County artists. But everybody I booked other than Aaron and well, I mean even you in a way, or
Yeah, but
from
we're
Hillsborough
not
County.
from here.
No, I'm
We're
from
Pasco.
Pasco County.
Pasco
I go
County.
through 2 counties to get here.
Yeah. No, but I mean
And I live
that's-
an hour away.
Yeah. Right. And I don't know what our first connection was.
I looked online to look for galleries to host a show in, and that's
Right,
how we met.
right.
And
So it's okay with me if people from outside the area come, and then
I
when
think they
they
should
come,
be encouraged to.
yeah, and people inside the it's like, are you promoting local artists? Yeah, but they're not promoting themselves. You know?
We
I
offer.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
for our featured artists, what do we want to do with that? Is that going to be like, are we just going to use it in our advertisement? Are we going to ask them to do something while at Art City?
I'm gonna ask her to do something. Maybe
So paint
because
a-
she does
paint a picture or
she's
something
done,
like that?
She's come out and I've seen her do chalk art on the ground. I think that may be something nice for her to do, a chalk art. But I'll leave it up to her creative mind. Say, hey, it's up to you, whatever you would like to do.
But like as a standard for
That-
future artists, should we
Mhm.
be like, okay, you get in for free. You're gonna
You-
have
you have a
got
booth.
whatever spot you want
Mhm.
in the area.
They should just do some
and
live art.
Some live
we
art.
ask you to do some
somewhere.
some sort of live art.
Some sort
Okay.
of live art. Okay.
Or dead.
Or dead
Yeah.
or dead art. You can use chicken bones if you want.
All right. So
Roadkill.
I will contact her
Okay.
just to make sure that she's okay with it, and I think she should be. Make sure that like, oh, well, I'm getting married this weekend or something. No, she's married already. Yeah,
Again.
you can't get married twice. You have to come out to Art City Arts.
If not, I think I've got a couple of students actually that won a big award on a art
Okay.
on a chalk art contest,
All right.
and they would probably come and make some amazing thing also.
Okay.
The Chalk Festival
So
is
this Saturday or next Saturday?
I don't know which is
Chalk
it.
Festival
This
is the
Saturday?
third.
It's every Saturday, so I'm
Oh, we
asking
do
which
art-
one
I've never been in the Chalk Festival.
Because if
Days
we did it next
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Saturday, we'd have more planning available to
Yeah,
make
let's
the
do it next
advertising big.
Saturday.
So let's go
And I can
big.
ask her.
Okay.
Is there like an arts association in Polk County or Central Florida or something like that? I mean, they must have a list.
Yeah, it's called
They
Arts
won't
City
share it.
Arts.
Looking at it.
Hillsborough Arts
You're
Council
looking
is
at
the
it,
Folk
closest
Arts
thing I've
Alliance.
found.
We're
Yeah.
developing
They
it
won't
right
share
now.
it, even if you want to get their artists on the list out.
No, you can get you can ask them to put your thing on there, but
Nobody looks
but
at
they
it.
but well no, but they won't share their list.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And who is this?
Polk Arts Alliance. They'll I don't think there'd be a problem getting on their list.
We
You
should
know, if
just
somebody
become.
wants to.
We should become bigger. We
Yeah.
should be like the Central Florida Arts Council. And just take it over.
Projections.
I'm good at this part.
Love it.
Yes.
Let me show you a map
Big
and a diagram.
picture.
So they're calling us and asking us,
ants are
not us going
Right,
the other way.
for sure.
I think it should be the Southeastern Arts Council.
There you go. South by Southeast Arts Council.
You can also put stuff up on the DLP
The
website.
North American Arts Council.
Milky Way
Yes,
Galaxy
they have a-
Art
Ooh.
Council.
Northern Hemisphere.
the Art Council of the Americas.
That's not
The
grandiose or anything.
universe.
The universe.
You can do that.
The
Yeah.
Intergalactic Art Alliance.
First Art Alliance in space.
Yes.
Nice.
First one, yes.
Nice.
We
We
have a
want
website.
everybody to think bigger.
I like it.
Ants in space.
Ants in space.
I hope we're recording all this.
Oh, yeah.
We should do a video contest for the ants and see, with the students and whatnot, see if we can't get anybody to give us like a 5-minute short video on little ant projects.
That
I
would be
think-
cool.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
That is an
Yeah.
excellent
So
idea.
like a stop motion of them building the ants? Is that what we're talking
No,
about?
no, just
Or-
anything.
That would
uh,
even be
just-
cool.
Yeah, stop
kind
motion,
of
or
video
they
thing.
can create, something that's
Ant
funny from it.
contest.
Just
or,
like
or filming real
claymations.
ants doing
Filming-
something.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, video
Yeah.
shorts are pretty cool.
I'll officially pony up $100 to the best video.
Awesome.
So there we go. We got-
$100 by Randy.
Yeah.
Contest prize.
Contest already out there, you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
You have to
Headway.
push this hard.
That's what-
So these are some things that we need a calendar at some point so we can put.
So
this,
should
like,
we, for
We're gonna
the,
have this film festival for ants. Like, when is this gonna be? Is there gonna be?
Mhm.
Are we gonna
Yeah.
already have built the big ants and let people know that we're the ant? Art
Somebody
City
needs to
ant?
build a website.
I'll commit to building a website.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
We had a
Oh,
big
good.
discussion last time about how websites were on their way out.
Well, we need a.
true, it's all about Facebook now.
I'm still certain we need some type of hub and
Yeah, I
some
think
way.
that's the hub.
And
For
like,
sure.
It's true, there's going to be
Also-
too much content to put it on a Facebook page.
Yeah.
But just even to have a space for us, like a forum space, just to people can keep on adding information, so we can keep each other update. That can, that can also come through. You can put up a Facebook page, but it's just good to have a centralized hub.
Well, just like having a Twitter thing, right? As long as somebody's tweeting out about 3 times a
Something,
day,
Yep.
posting
Yeah, and-
something regularly
While they're driving.
And if
Right.
we want to, if we want
Has
to
to be while
push,
driving, of course.
I
I like
That's
to
And
go
I-
another
and I
walking
don't-
downstairs.
I don't know how Twitter works as far
Okay.
as like postings, but Facebook you can schedule postings.
So
you can
on
schedule them for
Twitter-
the whole week, and they'll just automatically go
Right.
out if you
Right
wanted
on.
to
You
keep
have to
people
hashtag
constantly
every
looking
word.
at that.
Yeah.
I made a
Hashtag
Twitter
every-
page for
Every
Art
single
City,
word.
and it's set up that the tweets will automatically post to Facebook
Mhm.
as well, so it's connected like that
Oh, okay.
automatically.
So we're probably another week or two away from that, but at some point we should have some sort of commitment where we know where something's being posted out there a couple of times a day.
Mhm.
I would say no less than 3 times a day if you really want to get into the
Yeah. So
the
does
new
anyone know
media
if
system.
if Twitter allows scheduled posts? I know Facebook does. I don't know about Twitter.
I don't know.
I think it's
I don't know
all
about scheduling.
up to the
Okay,
person.
so it's like
There's
okay.
a program called TweetDeck, and
Oh.
it does all of them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you can just use that.
Cool.
technology.
Technology.
Because that way, if I saw the ant on the back of an alligator or something, I would take a picture and like.
Hashtag ant alligator.
That's right.
So,
For the contest, for the ant video
Ant- the
The
contest.
ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. We need to have that music in the thing. Hurrah!
I was just about to say that. Do we want to have requirements for the video? So they have to have like our website at the end, or
Let's see.
They
a
have
theme
to.
song, or
They have to all wind up at Art City.
They have to all end up
Yeah.
at Art City. Okay.
Randy, any parameters for the video contest?
Yeah. Do you want
All
like?
right, what I'm thinking, like 5 minutes.
Maximum.
5 minutes. 5 minutes maximum. 1 minute minimum.
Okay, 1 minute.
And it'll be judged by a panel of 3. We'll get 3 judges that can have an opinion, and we'll rate them like 1 to 5 on as far as like creativity, originality, use of ants.
Creativity.
I
Use of-
think I
use
should
of
leave it open to
Well, let's
anything. It could
leave
be
it-
animated.
Mechanical
it could be,
ants.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
We'll
anything.
leave that to
Stop
another
motion.
function
Ant
as far as
puppets,
the
whatever, right?
Yeah, anything and
Puppet ants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the dance.
Don't you have?
But do we
want
want to have
How
like
many
at the
are-
end of their video they have to have our advertising, just because when they
Oh
put
yeah,
it on
yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah, we'll
not necessarily for the contest, but when they post it on YouTube, it's got to have something.
Yeah, and,
that
But
and
links
we
it
they'll
back
put
to
it on their
us.
Facebook pages and
But-
all of that stuff as
Right,
well.
Art City
but it'll be
Ants.
there automatically. I wouldn't necessarily force that on them. I would just say the video it's coming through us, so they
Okay,
know.
It will
it's
be on
so
our
all
YouTube
rights,
channel.
Yeah.
all rights as far as advertising are yours if you enter in the contest.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to have a form so people can sign.
Right.
I don't know. 5 minutes. What
That's
if we
pretty long.
what if we
No,
get
it's
what
one
if we get like 50 submissions? I'm not gonna sit
Oh,
there
that'll
for
be
that long
awesome.
and
No,
What is
well,
what
How
is
about
what?
3 minutes? How
what
about 3
did-
minutes?
What did Wide Lakeland do with that contest? What was the maximum number of minutes that they allowed?
I'm not very familiar with it, unfortunately.
theirs
so I
were
can't
pretty
really
short.
comment on
Maybe
it.
that's the whole thing.
Look
You
it
put a
up.
cap on the minutes and not worry about the minimal, just because people tend to do more than they tend to do less.
Yeah,
How about 2 minutes?
I think
Max 2 minutes.
Cap?
Yeah.
Well, what's
Well,
wrong?
why
with
not?
the
Why not
5
try
minutes?
5?
Yeah,
Guys,
I
yeah,
want to
one
go with 5
guy
because
out of
it gives
50
you more
does
time
it.
to tell a story.
You get a
That's
storyline
true.
out of
And
it,
that's
right?
naturally
Or a
what I
comedy
want,
act
yeah.
or whatever
Okay.
thing
Yeah,
that's going
I
on.
And
don't
it's-
know. I'm just thinking about people aren't gonna watch a 5-minute thing on.
Well,
they'll
we're not
watch
going to
a-
show them all.
they'll
We're
watch
going
a
to show the
30-second
best.
thing on
We'll show
ants.
the best ones here at the
We'll show the
studio.
best ones, and we
But-
can either do it in here where people can come in and out as they please, or
Yeah,
we
and
can do it actually in the parking lot during our Art City event.
Or
Have
we
a big
can
projector
put
or
it on the
something.
wall.
With
Yeah.
James, you could splice them all together and just get the highlights out of all of them.
Montage.
Yep.
He's the kind of guy
And,
that would
and
do
plus,
that.
like, that's a challenge, right? Can you really entertain and get people's attention?
Or
for
if we
5
wanted
minutes
to
with
make
your
it big,
video?
Monica
Like,
as
if it-
Cassandra. That's all I'm saying.
If we
I'll
wanted
say
to make
right
it,
now.
if we can do something combined like that, like you said, taking the best of all of them, maybe on the big screen, and then have little tablets where they can click on the video they want to watch, type of thing.
Who gets the
If we're
$100?
gonna do like, if we're gonna do like
Are you
something,
making a video?
Yes. Yes.
if we're gonna do something like a premiere showing or whatever, as far as like, here's the contest winners and here's the runner-ups type of thing.
Well,
need a
like,
bomb
would,
website to put it all on. That's for sure. That's stepping stone number 1.
Would you want any other sort of sponsors? Would you like Florida Polytechnic to sponsor?
I think we should allow anybody to sponsor that wants
Well,
to sponsor.
anybody
you
who has
know?
a sponsor is going to. Anybody who
Yeah.
wants to sponsor is going to put how much money in to be?
matched. If they want to sponsor, they want to match, or they want to.
Well, I'm just saying you should have some number that, like, if you're going to sponsor, then it's some dollar amount.
Yeah, rather than I put
Like-
my $1 sponsor in, look at all this free advertising,
Yeah.
and I'm getting like.
Has to be at least over $100.
Oh, it has to be more than $100. If you're going to bother sponsoring,
Yeah.
people
Just like chunk
of
change
the
to them.
ilk of Florida Polytech or Southeastern, so if you ask them for $100 sponsorship, they won't even bother.
Yeah.
I is my thought process. What-
250.
at
500?
least 500.
What
'Cause
is this
then-
money
then-
being used for? As far as
Well,
just
then you
giving
can-
it to the winner or
No.
hosting the
winner-
event?
I'm really doing a video then.
No, because you want to
Yeah.
split it in half. You want half of the
So
money
we
to
need-
go to the winners, and the other half to go towards
toward the event.
Art
So
City.
either like when we're going to have the event, if we're going to have food, if we're going to have the different TVs, if we need to purchase, cheap little tablets so we have each of the videos available, or
Then you
just
could
something like that.
pay James to splice up the video.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
the
right, we
the,
could
the
actually pay people to
judges
do the
and
stuff they're
the
doing.
the judges who are gonna have to go through all the videos, they need to get paid a little something for their time, especially if the limit's going to be 5 minutes, type of thing.
You want to invite them in? Is this a
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, it's HB.
He's just standing there, so I
Yeah,
waved.
It's HB.
It's HB Homes from HB TV Sports.
Cool. So you want him
Yep.
to sponsor?
Some
We're looking for a sponsor, and he showed up.
some football ants or some ants playing soccer, you know.
Yeah.
Sponsored by HB TV Sports. I know my ants would definitely be doing music or something like that.
Cool.
All of my
DJ
aunts
mine
are
would be a
dead, but I have a couple uncles that'd be
DJ ant.
interested.
All right. Well, we're at our little 2-hour moment,
Okay.
so we're gonna wind us down.
Yes.
Time flies.
And yeah, when you're having fun.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
was a very fun meeting, and
Mhm.
so I enjoyed it.
I did.
I
Okay,
did.
so homework.
I'm gonna
Everyone
have
has
to
to
watch that first
design an
part of it.
ant. Whether
Alright.
they design the big one or a little tiny one, pull like a promo or a drawing.
It's
has
up
to have
to-
some sort of
it's-
ant.
I
It's up,
will
it's up to
have
bring an ant
ants.
Yeah.
somehow.
Bring an ant.
Picture
And
Yeah.
try to bring another person.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the wine for?
That was the
You.
winner
Oh,
of
that
the
was
ant
you.
design.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
And we were
are we supposed to bring
Handsome
wine
wine.
And-
too?
yeah.
Wine,
Yeah.
a person, and an ant design?
I don't
Okay.
drink wine, so.
This is
The
I'll bring a
trifecta.
canister of hot chocolate.
Right.
Ha-
So
hashtag-
I don't drink either, so that's not motivating me.
Yeah.
Juice. We'll bring
Juice.
juice.
There you go.
I drink juice and wine, so I'm good.
All right. Well, how about a liquid beverage of your choice?
Very good. Let's do that.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was for a prize. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to figure out what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to bring.
Just bring an ant
For n-
design.
I'm just gonna bring.
Someone
I'm
will
gonna,
bring.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring wine anyhow. So.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'll bring
We
wine
are
too.
now
Juice.
getting
Juice.
somewhere. We're
Wine.
moving right into
found
the
our
creative
motivation.
process.
So we know what the prize is. It's wine.
All right.
Awesome.
So,
Is it
All
over?
right.
I think it's over.
It is. We are
All right.
signing off.
All right.
All
Signing
right.
off.
All
Auf
right.
Wiedersehen.
Have a
Nuts
great
are
evening,
out.
everybody.
Art City ants out.
Yes, right.